from New Orleans if you don't be dipping during that intro.
Real talk.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crucial Conflict. We got a special topic tonight. We're gonna have some band directors come on. Tonight's show is talking about the maestros of New Orleans, the band directors of New Orleans. Of course, we have our regular host that's on here today. Start with Burger Brooks, Clark alum, Mr. Matt Francis, Kennedy,
yes, sir,
99 alum, and Darrell Martin Morris. Landry Walker. Perry Walker. Perry Walker alumni. And of course, you have myself, the second most hated person in the world, coming out of band. Mr. Van Buren from Aberson Academy, Aberson alum, 2001. But tonight we got a good show. That we doing tonight. We're gonna be talking to a few band directors, man. We have some special guests on here. We're gonna have some band directors from Baton Rouge that's from New Orleans come on here tonight. We're gonna have some of the local band directors that will come on. They're gonna be talking about a lot of different things. Man, what y'all think about the show tonight, Berger?
I'm kind of excited to hear from Mr. Rollins because I haven't really heard much from him since Perez season when you had him talking all that smack. So this is gonna be the first time I ever got to pick his, we ever got to pick his brain as far as real band knowledge because I've never sat down and actually picked his brain. So this is gonna be cool. We always get low on the show. He a regular up here.
So you're talking about not Lawrence Rollins, but Mr. Wilbur Rollins.
Yeah, I'm talking about Big Brother.
Oh, okay.
And then I do want to hear what Javon and Iran got to say too, because some boys been grinding in Baton Rouge for a long time. So it's kind of cool. And Lions is very knowledgeable. He knows some stuff too. So I'm just here to soak up this knowledge, man, because we are blessed to be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
We have a mixture.
Cool, but I hope everybody be honest when they get on here tonight. I don't want no like political stuff. I want people to be honest. I mean, I ain't saying go crazy, but I do want to hear honesty and truth from a lot of the directors that's coming on tonight, because it makes for a better show when everybody being transparent and real, and not putting on for the people that's watching.
So you think they're gonna come on here and tell fibs? You think they're not gonna tell the truth? You think?
I don't think they're gonna lie. I just think that sometimes when they're the head band directors and they got a certain reputation, people tend to get very political on podcasts like this. You know what I'm saying? And they don't tend to, not that they lie, they just
sugarcoat.
Yeah, it's like a lot of sugarcoated going on, and I don't want to see that because the time we in now, we need to be real. So basically, that's what I mean by that.
It's understandable a little bit, though. I mean, you don't want to come on here and just completely blow up the spot.
I'm not saying what's up, Leroy? What's up, Leroy? I'm not saying blow up the spot. I just want people to come on and be themselves, man. Like, let's not be fake.
You all right, Bird? Oh, Matt, what's your opinion about what you think about tonight? What you think about? Hold on. What you say? Put the tenor drum on there going to be. We already know that. We got that coming. We working on that.
Trust me. B Barnes is coming. We've been discussed that, but it's in the making right now. But I like when we have the band directors on. I since we've been doing this show, I done learned so much more about just band now and band culture now, and just the adversities these band directors face now. I look forward to hearing what they got to say. They done educated me on so freaking much, man. It's like night and day what brothers like yourself have to go through these days versus how it was pre-Katrina, man. So much respect to all of these brothers. I'm looking forward to soaking up this knowledge, just like Berger said.
Man, I just saw Brandon Kelly. Shout out to Brandon Kelly, man. I got some special for Read tonight, man.
Hey, real quick, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, Darrell. I can hear you.
All right, cool.
So Darrell, I had asked him, I don't know if you heard, but how you think tonight's show is gonna go, man? What's your opinion on tonight's show?
My opinion on this show is gonna be It's gonna be a great show because we gonna get that real insight on the how much it takes to get a well-oiled machine into the streets, and you get to hear from some legends, and you get to hear from some people that haven't been in the game too long, so you can hear
So who legends is?
both ways.
Who's some legends? You say some. So that's more than one.
Legend. I'm talking about Wilbur Rawlins Jr.
But you say it's
You know
some.
what I'm talking about?
You say it's some.
Yeah, man. I'm not just talking about Rawlins. The legend of the show is Wilbur Rawlins Jr. But they have people. You have other people like Lo gonna be on the show. You got other people that like Chalupa. I think Chalupa is a legend in his own way. As far as one of the best players, two players that come out of
Nobody
New
more.
Orleans.
Listen. Let me say this as a disclaimer. Nobody is more influential.
Bro, you going in and out, bro.
Nobody's more influential to the city of New Orleans right now. Nobody's more influential in the city.
Who's gonna be on the show? You got other people that like.
What was
Hey.
Some people, somebody got the what you call it on?
You're right. That was you, huh? So
Yeah.
So you say some. So you name some, huh? I'm gonna be.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, I said.
Listen. Lions have been doing band a very long time in New Orleans. I don't think people understand. Like the man been doing band a long time, and that's why I say that legend word get thrown around so much. To me,
legends can be born before they die.
My point exactly. Everybody's not a legend for the same reason.
Right, exactly.
Every band director is not a legend for the same reason. The reason you may feel Mr. Rollins is a legend, I may feel he's a legend for a different reason.
No, Mr. Rollins is a legend. Let me tell you why I say he's a legend. Not only has he succeeded in every chair that he sat in, he's also made a difference in a lot of children's life.
That could say any band director.
Yeah, that could be said for any band director, Terrell.
Yeah, but I'm saying like this. It's on many different levels, and I'm not just talking music. I'm not talking music. I'm talking music. I'm talking real life. I'm talking college. I'm talking like just the standard that he upholds. Like right. Mr. Wilbur Rawlins is that dude.
That could be said for a lot of band directors. Yeah, I think he's a legend because he went to John Fitzgerald Kennedy and he's an alumni.
Okay, add that in there, man. Add that in there. There's a lot of band directors out here that don't deserve to be on the pedestal at the end because they're too damn lazy. So we need to get that out there too.
And that's very true. I do think we got a lot of lazy, stagnant band directors, but that's for next week's show.
Yeah.
You still say something just name real.
Didn't I just tell you everybody not a legend for the same reason? Didn't I just tell you that?
That's what I'm saying. And speaking of this joint, what we about to do is we about to bring on Mr. Lonzy Jackson to the show.
Lonzy Jackson is a legend in his own way, like Berger said. Like Chalupa is a legend in his way because Chalupa turned a program that was trash around and made him one of the premier programs in the city.
Cole was not trash under John Summers.
Man, get out of here. Nobody ain't give a damn about Cole.
Ever in life, you will not disrespect the late great John Summers like that.
I'm not disrespecting John Summers. I'm saying
damn good band before Chalupa got there.
Stop lying. No, they did not.
Chalupa
Fellas.
They had good musicians.
Hey, bro.
Hey, look. Cole had good musicians, but their band was trash.
I'm not letting.
They had a lot of great musicians, though.
All right. Berger, let me introduce the people. Damn. No, y'all can do that on Facebook Live or something. Yeah. I just introduced Mr. Lonzy Jackson, the band director, Helen Cox, and we got Jackson State in the building. Mr. Trey. Boy, I got a suit so clean. Fine to do. Band director at West Jeff. That boy big. That boy supposed to be clean, boy. I told that boy, let me get one of them. I can't fit him. I said, shit, get it about 2 months.
Fresh out of KG, little man section.
Man, we so happy to have y'all on today. Can you say something right here? Make sure we can hear you.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you. Unmute your mic, Trey.
Damn.
What's that? What's that?
So we got some questions for y'all, Berg. I'm gonna start with you, man. Why don't you start off, man? Ask one of the first. Let me ask y'all this: could y'all tell us y'all journey, like what high school y'all went to?
Your band facts. Your
Your
band
band
facts.
facts. Yeah, Lonzy, I need to know your band
We
facts.
want your pedigree, your band
Lonzy,
facts.
tell me what school you went to, Lonzy. Tell it.
I'm representing for LC Fauci.
Whoa.
They talking. Nah,
You know that. You know I'm gonna be quiet because I like Lonzy, and I ain't
yeah,
trying to do this.
y'all in here every week popping your gums about Fauci.
I ain't about to do this because I like you. So you know what? I want us to keep a friendship.
Why would y'all just tell me this not his brother with the Fauci? Don't spring that on me, man.
Because listen, I wanted to keep my friendship with him. I wanted to keep my friendship with him. Tonight I will not bash Fauci while he on here.
Anything else you want to say about your journey or anything,
I'm a graduate of LC Fauci. I also graduated from Xavier University. I taught at various schools in the city: Douglas, Rob Wayne, Carver, and now I'm at Helen Cox. So I've been doing this.
Oh,
been doing this.
Yeah,
Mr. Trey,
and doing it well.
Mr. Trey,
Thank you.
tell us about yourself, my man.
Well, first I was having all y'all. Trey Bonner from the country, Kenwood, Louisiana. You don't know where that's at. Go to Mississippi on I-55 South, North, and you'll pass my town. I graduated from Kenwood High. I went to Jackson State, Jackson State, played trombone, SOP, all of that. Got out of school. I came back. I was an assistant band director at Kenwood High for 5 years. For free, wrote all the music, drills, kids in school, all that. Was there for 3 years as a director. Coming on my third year in January, I got the call to come to West Jeff, and went did the interview, and I'm there.
Man, we happy to have both of y'all on. So look, this is how we go. This is how we gonna do it tonight. I'm one of the hosts is gonna ask y'all a question. By Lonzy being one of the goats, we gonna ask you to answer the question first, and then Mr. Trey Bonner will answer the second. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm gonna ask all of us to mute our mics while they talk. So, Berger, we're gonna start out with you. You could go on with your question.
The question for both of you fellas are: tell the world about y'all program and some of the goals that y'all have set forward going forward, even with like this coronavirus and everything being so messed up.
Well, my goal for this year is a lot of things that's still uncertain in reference to the normal performances, but my goal for this year is to make it as normal as possible for the kids. Also to continue to prepare my seniors for college auditions, and just to continue to represent the city and myself and my school and my kids well. This is going to be my 7th year at Helen Cox. We have a concert band, a marching band. We do various conventions around the city. And when I came in, the school had a pretty good, reputation. The academics is pretty solid, you know. So yeah, that's a little bit about Helen Cox program design.
All right, Mr. V, on you, baby.
Kind of piggyback on what he said. Safeties first. My thing also too is NJP. I think the love for band is different than what it is in New Orleans, Paris. So my big thing too, keep my kids interested in the program. Period. I mean, I think if I got their heart, they're gonna work and they're gonna do what it takes to get better. But I think one of my goals, keep them safe, keep them interested, and to get them to school, to get them to the next level. I think that's about it with me.
All right, Matt, you go ahead and ask him a question. You mute him. Matt.
You're muted, Matt.
Darrell,
Pardon me.
Hey, look.
Huh.
Go ahead,
As I
man.
said
Go ahead,
before,
bro.
man, I'm looking forward to being able to pick you brothers' brains. I learned so much on these shows, and it's also awesome to get to meet you brothers. So, um, awesome having y'all, man. But I have a question for y'all. What components do y'all think it takes to build a successful program? What are the key ingredients to building a successful band program, in y'all's opinion?
You want me to go first, Mr. Alonzo, or you?
You can go for it, sure.
First and foremost, mine is discipline. After discipline, dedication. Another one is pride for the school. We see that a lot of times too, where kids don't have no pride in the school, so they ain't gonna have no pride in the program. Them three things, uh, parental support, positive parental support, that support from admin as well. And I mean, I would say community, but sometimes community can be biased. Community can be harsh when it's really about the kids. Some of the community feel like maybe a in the cloud answer.
Yeah, I agree with some of the things Trey said. I think to build a successful program definitely starts with discipline and structure, um, trust, building and creating effective leaders, and not micromanaging. Like when you create effective leaders, you don't stand over them. You allow them to learn, and demonstrate, and you help them along the way. But I'm in a situation where I don't have like drum instructors and 2 and 3 assistants. Never did. So I always had to do it by myself. So I think it's very important to create effective leaders so that you don't have to literally have your hands in everything. And the last thing is definitely academics, because you can prepare the student to do well on the audition, but if he or she doesn't have the sustaining power to stay in college, then you get the 1 and 2 semester individuals, and they just go up there and get a letter on their chest. And yeah.
I love that answer.
Hold up.
I love that answer.
I'm drinking tea. I'm drinking tea.
Hold up, Lonzy.
Hey, that was a shot. I ain't gonna say nothing. You can take it, Johnny.
No comment. I'm already hating
I'm gonna let that one slide.
That's all. What I'm saying, I'm just talking about the kids having sustaining power. That's all.
What
That
about,
was my whole point.
what about the letter on your chest?
I wasn't trying to take a jab. I promise.
What about the letter on
That
your
was good though. I agree with the jab, but
I agree
whether
with
it
it
was
too.
jab or
You
not,
said
I
he
get
was
absolutely
spot
a
agree
on.
with it.
letter.
I
You
come in.
said get a letter on your chest.
No,
And I feel like that was a shot towards.
I come
Never
in.
mind. I got a question.
Hey, bro. I gotta laugh at that one. That was funny. Go ahead, Darrell, bro. Go ahead, Darrell.
Hey, look. My question to y'all is, because I heard a couple things y'all said, and I think one of the big things is discipline. So how are y'all today in today's band world? How are you enforcing discipline and building that discipline in a band where it's way different from back in the day? And we all know what we're saying. How are y'all enforcing that discipline with today's band?
Well, the only way I can deal with it, and it shows, like I have a small group.
Yeah,
Um,
your band is very good.
the only reason I have a small group is because I'm so old school. It's a lot of things and a lot of standards I'm not willing to let go. And we're in a situation in an environment in a situation where kids don't like structure. Kids don't
Right.
like to be held accountable. And that's the only way I know how to do band. I got to hold you accountable. I got to expect for you to practice. When you ain't practicing, you gotta practice. Like you gotta come to rehearsal. Missing rehearsal is not an option. That's non-negotiable for me. So I deal with discipline on a different level, but I've already accepted that I'll always have probably a small group because I'm not willing to compromise. I know band is supposed to evolve, but it's just certain things I'm not willing to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Got that. What about you, Trey?
Something like what Mr. Lonzy said. Mr. Lonzy, he's an older director. So like he said, he's stuck. You know, I ain't gonna say stuck in his ways. That's an old saying. But I mean, he says he got some stuff he's not willing to change, which I get that. My thing with discipline though, I do my discipline strictly on respect first, and if I can do it, damn it, you can do it. And I lead by example. I don't care if I'm sick, I'm on time. I don't care if I got other things to do at my school, I'm on time. I don't care if I got kid problems, my baby's gonna be handled, but I'm there at band practice. I don't miss practice, I don't miss a performance. I'm always giving 100%. So that's what I expect in my program. If you can't give me that, you out the door. I don't care if you're a freshman or a senior or my head drum major. Nobody in here know more than me. Nobody in here is more qualified than me. So if you can't listen to me, holler. So
Okay.
I had a couple bumps in the road, you know, when I got there. Because first off, I'm one of the smaller dudes. I'm probably the smallest dude in my band room. But I kind of think that was a thing too. They heard me talk before they saw my face on country, so they feel like they can get all over me, you know, because I'm from the country or whatever. And 3 is just like, okay, here a new face, we're gonna run him off. So I kind of dealt with that when I first got there. And my thing was this: I mean, you're more man than me, then do your thing. If not, shut your ass up, excuse my language, and get back on your own.
Dang, I love it.
Facts.
I know you probably, you know, like Johnny coming and say, shorter than a bitch and all that shit, you know, the old country talk and stuff.
Hey, but I'm saying, bro, we can't turn this into a real session because I don't remember losing no real back.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. Do y'all feel, as band directors in New Orleans, do y'all feel pressure by upholding the legacy of what New Orleans bands were and trying to get that back to, you know, what it was today? Do you have pressure? Do you feel pressured by that? Mr. Sure, you go first since Lindsay went first last.
By me being from the country, I always used to reference bands in New Orleans to my program out there because it's like out there, yeah, they know about band, but it's more on sports out there. So my whole point to them was, yeah, you good in the country, but who you against in the country? You want to go to the city, you know what I'm saying? Anybody and everybody can get on you out there. So me coming from out there and here, it was pressure when I first got there. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, damn, I got something cool with Jeff. Then, not to mention, you know, shouts out to Barrel. Barrel was there 4 years before I got there. So that program was already up and running, already accustomed to what Bear had going on. So that was not on my plate as far as a director. I'm finna come in here. I gotta ease some of my stuff in here with these kids because they love Barrel. They started on the Barrel. I don't want to lose none of them, but at the same time too, I don't want them to feel like I can't do the job that Barrel was doing either. Because I stand on my own 2 feet too, and I want to get them to see that as well. Pressure in the city from another band, no. You rarely see me rapping about anything. Pressure from another director, no. I come here to do my job. My job is to make musicians, long time musicians, and that's what I feel like I'm doing. The battles, I think that's my biggest pressure is the battle because a lot of people really sleep on West Jeff. A lot of people look over West Jeff because it's JP versus New Orleans, Paris, or whatever. So a lot of people don't really look at Jeff as a contender. So that's kind of like a 50-50 thing with me pushing them kids to the limit and putting out a bad song and I know not ready, but just because I'm trying to win the battle. And that happened to me against Landry Walker. And I say that, you know, when I first got there, I got there in January. We battled Landry Walker in February. You know what I'm saying? My band wasn't ready, but I proved the point. My whole thing was I'm not scared of nobody walking. My band ain't going to be scared of nobody walking. So I'm finna shoot these 30, 40 songs of Landry Walker. They're not going to be 100. But at the end of the day, Mr. Rawley's going to understand, hey, Mr. V over there, he ain't playing. He ain't playing. So that's my thing.
You been
Hold up. Can I ask you a question? So Landry Walker blow back at you?
Yeah, we played for 41 minutes.
What? Well, I'm appalled.
That was
No
that
comment.
year. Listen,
No comment.
that year.
No comment.
Let me say this. That was that year where Jeff got them, but I'm gonna be quiet. For that parade at Slidell, I'm gonna be quiet, dude. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Go ahead, Lonzy.
But just snuck one in. It's like that.
What you got to say, Lonzy?
Well, in reference to pressure, like the new when I first started at because I didn't understand the game, but like now, it's no pressure because I realized even before Katrina when I was at Douglas, at the end of the day, right behind people, you crank at people and whatever, and people are still gonna like who they like, you know. And so when I realized that, regardless to what you do, you know, because I know for a fact, that's why I said a couple of weeks ago, I only worry about the respect of my Douglas used to compete in some of those schools back then before Katrina, we was fighting against not the current band. It was more about the reputation that they had when you battled them. Pound for pound, my band was dealing with some of those bands, but we never got the accolades because it was more that's Douglas. But I ate that, you know what I'm saying? So early on in my career, I realized that don't chase something that's not obtainable. Trying to get the approval of some people that will never happen. So accept what you can control and move on. Now, in terms of
Lonzy, I can ask you one thing under pressure. You come under the great Elijah Brimmer, right?
yes.
So do you feel like pressure that you came under him and kind of like in so many words be a good band director because you came under Elijah Brimmer?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I came in with a chip because you know it was a lot of hatred spewed against Fosse. So I was like I'm gonna punch these niggas for Mr. Brummer. So yeah, I did come in with a chip on my shoulder. Yeah, I'm from Fosse. You know, in spite of you know what they try to say. You know, this and this. So you know, I came in like with a chip and with the shits. You know, it was about whatever.
They had a question or somebody
Johnny,
wanted
let
to
me
ask
ask.
you a
I want to
question.
ask them this question, Johnny.
Okay, go ahead.
I gotta ask them this question. What hardships are you guys program facing year in and year out? Because I mean, I know it's gotta be hard every year to get a product ready, dealing with these kids because they are different. They are very different, and I understand. Most of them I've been around, especially for Trey, so I know what Trey dealing with. So I'm saying, what hardships are you guys facing?
Um, the hardships for us would probably be funding would probably be the most significant struggle. Funding. Um, my scheduling is fine. I got a good principal that give me the students that I want. Like I don't have to babysit during the school day. So my biggest struggle is probably funding.
I'm new at Jeff still, so I'm still finding out stuff daily. Admin with me. I mean, and this is my thing with that. If you don't know band, if you don't really got no love for it, it's gonna be hard to deal with anybody. You know, uh, like you said, funding. Yeah, it's better than what I was in the country, but it's not what I would want it to be for a band program. Because I feel like hell, band is more important than sports to me, and band is a sport to me. You know, band is more than playing your horn, you know, whatever. Band literally saved my life. Like I tell my kids in the band room. So I would want the same respect that you give football, that you get. I want that for band. Then I can do. Let's really play judges. You know, how many kids your football program send to compared to how many kids are going to send to college for band. You know, and that's when you know what I'm saying things kind of get outweighed because most time football got a voice, band don't. So we won't have that voice on a pedestal like that to really get our word out and get our truth out there as well. So I think admin and people really not understanding what we about and what we live about. I think that's my biggest problem, Jeff.
Matt,
Lindsay, I saw a question.
yeah,
I saw a question that I wanted to ask Lindsay. It was from one of the viewers. but they were answering questions. So I'm trying to find that question
I
because
think it was
it was from Ricky.
Ricky,
Ricky asked
yeah.
a question, and I want Lindsay to answer that question because it was a really good question.
There you go.
Okay, there you go. What
Um,
technique you use to keep a balanced band year in year out? Because I do want to know how you pull that off every year. Jesus Christ.
well, one of the secrets is like I kind of hate baritones, like the way they sound. So I just make sure everybody understand their role in terms of us recreating a CD. You know, I like to give the example of when you listen to a CD, like the background singers aren't louder than the lead vocalist. And so if you can't hear the people that's playing the lead, then you're playing too loud. I also control that by the literature that I choose to pass out to my group. I write a lot of my own music. I don't get a lot of music from various universities. I may get a song or two, but I write my own literature. So with me knowing my own group, it's easier for me to arrange for my group.
Y'all need me to answer that too, or that was just Mr. Lonzo?
That was for Mr. Lyons. I got one for both of y'all right now.
Okay.
What happens if you guys do come across a student that knows more than you? Let me say this before y'all answer. Very seldom that happens. That don't
Yeah,
happen. It's a student
not often.
never know more than a director. Let me put that out. Unless your
They
director,
might think they do, but they don't.
unless your director is straight up terrible. Y'all go ahead and answer that question.
Well, when I run across a kid very knowledgeable, I try my best to continue to encourage them. I'm not intimidated by it. I embrace it, and if I can continue to inspire them, you know, and point them in the right direction to go and find out more information that maybe I can't provide them. You know, it's my responsibility to continue to allow them to grow, go into their creativity, and you know, just expand on what they already know. But I'm not intimidated by it. I embrace it. I love it. It actually makes me smile.
With me,
You use them?
just first and foremost, nobody's perfect. So it could be somebody that really, you know, that really knows something that you don't know, because we don't know everything. Even as directors, we still learn daily. So, I mean, it's a long shot, but it's possible. But to piggyback on what Mr. Jackson said, it's a blessing. That way, you can you can really mold this player and mold this person to be, you know, that next legend that everybody talk about and looking for. You know what I'm saying? Also, you having in the band room that can help you, because some of that knowledge can spread across your band program. So some kids gonna get tired of, damn, you always picking on him to read that rhythm. You always picking on him. I'm gonna get like, you know. So with that, I mean, yeah, that's a blessing, I think. I would try to make more and more. Pick his brain and see how much he know, to see how can he get his peers to know what he know. You know, that way we all win.
Man, Joe, nobody don't battle y'all.
So I have a question. Are we gonna do is this is a show for bridging the gap, right? Because you know I'm in
Right.
communication with a lot of different.
That's next week. That's next week.
Okay, all right.
That's
Damn,
next week.
sorry.
Hey, Matt, you got a question?
Well, I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have access to the questions on neither one of my phones. I should have hooked my setup.
Well, I
Up,
have
up.
a question.
Okay, please.
We having some good questions, you know.
I have a question. Oh, you wait, Matt, just come off the top of your head. Mr. Lyons is ready for your question.
Yeah. I like
I'm
good question.
Nah. Well,
just messing.
if what I'm trying to see how I could ask this in a way that my brothers from the foe wouldn't be put off by it. Let me see. First off, first off, what year did you leave for shit? That's part A of the question, and then the B section of that question is, are there some things, some philosophies that you took away from your time watching with Four Shade Man? And are there some things that went from when you marched with Force Band that you decided to abandon as it relates to your band, the sound? What, Johnny? I'm at. You guys said I could ask something,
How about it?
and so I'm sorry, brother. I'm just now learning that you are an alum of Force. So I did want to know that. Are there some, first off, when did you graduate? And
I,
secondly, are there some philosophies that you decided to abandon? And then are there some that you chose to glean and make a part of your program?
well, to answer your question, I graduated in 1992, and some of the things that I took away, the first thing I was able to take away was being able to read between the lines.
Hmm.
Um, you wanted to say in terms of throwing philosophy, throwing things away. Of course, it's some things that I took away. Mr. Brummer was a great leader. You know, he cared about the kids.
Yes, he did.
Um, he was determined to save lives, and I think a lot of people don't get the bigger picture. You know, he very seldom would put people out the band, and what that actually did, that probably gave people more chances than they would normally get because he didn't put anybody out the band. So I took that away just to be a try to correct their mishaps and to be a positive influence on them. It was some things that I didn't agree with when I was in school. And I won't share that. I just indoctrined what I wanted to correct and build upon and continue Mr. Brummer's legacy.
So you didn't. So you didn't. I'm sorry, brother. You didn't. You didn't. First off, I agree with you. Mr. Bremer saved a lot of lives, man. He saved a lot of lives. But so like let me name something from. I could name some things from my time at Kennedy under the great Dr. Walter Harris that I decided to abandon. You can't think of. There's nothing you can share that you would like. Nah, this won't be happening in my band. Nothing at all.
Well, it's some things that they were able to do back then that we can't do now. So that necessarily isn't me getting rid of it. That's me getting rid of it because I want to keep my job. Some of the things in terms of discipline.
Marching with
Uh,
Um,
AK-47s. I got you.
um, yeah, yeah.
I got
I
you.
mean, I don't know what I mean. If you know something, just throw it out there. But I mean, in terms of, he was an excellent teacher.
yes, he was.
He taught his classes. He was stern. He was strict. I mean,
I always say for Mr. Brimmer to walk in full shit for 30 some 40 some years every day
Deal
to
with
walk
them
into full shit.
niggas.
To
Deal
deal
with them
with
niggas.
them uptown boys. I don't want to call them that. To deal with them uptown boys for third to walk in there every day to deal with that. Much respect to him. Much.
Man,
Straight. Let
because
me
I,
ask
I
Trey a
know some of them
question.
dudes, and honestly, man, they're different. Well, I can't say that. This ain't this.
let me clear this
Let
up.
me
Let me
ask
clear
Trey a
this up
question
right
right
quick.
quick. Let me ask Trey a question.
Let me clear this up right quick, Virgo. In terms of being different, now I went to Xavier University and they had students from all over the city, from different various schools. And them Negroes act just like the people from Fauché. Some of them was worse than the kids at Fauché. So we're not going to promote this narrative that Fauché had hard criminals and it had people. Like, listen, I'm not going to air it out here. I'm not gonna air it out here, but I don't. I read between the lines with this narrative of trying to make it seem like Foche had like the rough of the rough. It was like Angola, because them niggas that went to Kennedy was right out of character, and a lot of them was they. What year you got out, man? What year
Sir, listen. Now
what year
listen,
did you get out?
brother Lonzy. What I'm trying to
What year
do
did you get
is for
out?
this. Okay, no, brother. What I'm trying to do is for this not to be one of those kinds of show. But what you don't ever want to do is you don't want to compare y'all student body to
Man,
anything.
Man,
Please, sir. You don't ever want to compare y'all student body, those bunch of hoodlums.
No,
Hold on, bro.
no.
We
If
can't
memory
realize
serves
it.
me correctly, Kennedy was taken over for after the storm too, right? So that meant they was a failing school before Katrina.
That's because we got we got a bunch of teachers that went to Fauché at Kennedy. Now that's not a matter of my opinion.
I think you graduated after me, so I want to say this: if you talk to Keith and Will, Will is coming on later. The Kennedy that you went to was not the Kennedy of the past from the '80s. It was straight
I agree.
time you got there. So
It wasn't hood when I got there.
it
I
was
graduated in '99. It wasn't hood.
yeah, it was straight hood.
No, it wasn't.
Look, so
It did. No, it wasn't no
So
fighting.
Mike, you
It
been living a
smelled
lie,
great.
bro.
look,
It wasn't no
man,
beef food.
hey, bro, look. We ain't look, bro. Hey, y'all have any final things to tell them? Because we got to get on, move to the next guest. It's
I
coming
just
on.
want to ask Trey
I
something
still
before
love
we
you,
get off.
man. I still like it.
Listen,
Hey, brother, it's all love. I love this. You got to
Hey,
know
I
me.
want to
I
ask
love
Trey
this.
something before he
we got to
leaves.
move on right quick. We got to move on,
Let
man.
me
Thank
ask Trey
y'all.
this
Thank
question
you.
before we leave. Before we
Bro, we
leave,
got to
Trey,
move on.
I'm
Time.
asking him this question before we
No,
get
we
off.
got to move on. Trey,
No,
You gotta
I
move on.
appreciate you. Liza, I appreciate y'all. We got to move on. Boy, Robin not about to get mad at me. You think you
too
slick,
late. You
bro?
already
Boy,
took it
Robin
up.
is not about to get mad at me. Let's move on. Thank y'all for coming on. Kent Wood in the building. Liza, you my boy. Trey, you my boy. Y'all boys be cool.
All right, thank you.
That boy said, Robin not about to get mad at me.
Yeah, you might be out your mind, boy. Robin ain't about to get mad at me.
Robin getting mad at you is the least of your worries after tonight.
Hey, Liza had a lot of
Yeah, this about to
shade.
get real interested in a
Yeah,
minute.
he worried about
No,
Robin getting mad at him. Woo.
Well, you know,
Terrence, the reason why I said that Kennedy smelled good is
yeah.
because
You say smell.
sometimes sometimes you went around Fauché and it smelled like uh the that's okay. Who's the next guest?
Who we got coming on next,
Hey,
man?
she said Kennedy was a
I
bunch of
think
hoodlums
Barrow
too.
and Chalupa coming on next.
Yeah, Barrett Chalupa, man. Hey,
Johnny,
man,
what inspires you the most through band adversity to push through?
just being me, bro. I had adversity all my life. I was always told I wasn't gonna be nothing, dog. I use that to push me to be better than to really. I'm gonna be real. To really piss people off who tells me that. It's because I like when people see you. When people don't really want to see you doing good, like that really drives me to do better, just to piss them off. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I use as motivation. You know what I'm saying? I have a
Johnny,
yes, sir.
Liza say he don't like baritone, so you need to get rid of some of them you had.
Man, that's
On your
hey,
line.
if y'all see me, say, bro, we go. Let's bring on. I'm about to talk about that. Let's bring on.
Matt have Fauché hatred in his heart.
Hey, bro.
I resent that.
For Chalupa, but look, he took 2 shots today. That boy Lines is slick. He took
He
2.
did. He did.
Liza
I
took
like it though.
slick.
I
Look,
like it.
he took very slick ones too. They were slick.
Hey, bro,
Yeah.
let's welcome Mr. Herrero, band
What
director
up, Chalupa?
at Nacar
What's
Cougar
going on, y'all?
marching band.
Y'all can hear me?
What up, Chalupa?
Bust him
What's
up.
going on,
How
Chalupa?
y'all
Take
doing? How y'all doing?
five.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. What is
Sam,
that? They can't hold a candle to the dog team.
my
You know.
favorite
Hey,
Migo in the whole city. I don't care
hey,
what nobody
hey,
say.
Chalupa. I got a tuba show coming soon, and I'm gonna put you on there.
Oh, bet. I'm definitely be glad to be on there.
I know you're gonna be one of my special guests, but we gonna keep this one about this one.
All right.
I can't wait to
Look,
hear
man.
y'all
Look,
compare Southern and J State tubas. Oh, I
ain't
can't
no
Hey,
wait.
comparison.
hey,
Ain't no comparison.
it's like comparing. It's like comparing Kennedy and Clark.
Kennedy and Carl.
Watch,
Exactly.
watch your
And
Kennedy
mouth,
and
Clark
boy.
Clark.
Watch your mouth, boy.
and Southern is the Kennedy.
Oh man, why you lying to us, okay, bro?
Hey, hold up. Let me see something.
Professor El Chalupa.
So what's going on? I guess introduction, right? Again, my name is Chris Herrero, better known as Chalupa to everybody. Director of bands at Endicott High School. Team Bust 'em Up, the most exciting, electrifying band in the city of New Orleans. Best band in New Orleans. Forever. There we go.
You don't even need no introduction no more. You on this show a whole lot.
Chalupa come on here talking that noise, dude.
That's
Ain't
bad.
no noise talking, man. Just a couple of little propaganda. That's all.
Yeah.
So
We waiting on one more, huh?
I got us, Rock.
yep.
Believe me, I got us, Rock. Hey, we look, I got us, Rock.
Us. We talking about us talking about you got smashed by them other people. We're not gonna talk about that today though. Not today.
Yeah, well, some of us disagree with that. Some of us
Yeah.
think Chalupa and them
Terrence.
stumped the mud hole in their asses. But I mean, that's neat. That's not what we're talking about today. So
Right. We
So
are waiting on one
so
more band director, right?
while we doing that, Terrence Jameson, how your toe doing, bro? Your toe all right, Terrence? How's it coming along, bro? Did
What?
PF Chang's give you a little settlement? No? Oh, all right.
Bro, so man, look, we waiting
Yeah.
on we waiting
Waiting
on
on Barrel, right?
Barrel, but we can
Barrel.
with
I
Chalupa, man.
just got on the phone with him. He having some technical difficulties. He trying to join now.
You know you're gonna come on here and cut up.
No, he not.
Okay, let's go ahead, man. Since I started with Burger the World, I'm gonna start with you. What question you want to ask Mr. Herrero?
For just like the last segment, I want to ask you, what are some things about your program that you think set y'all apart from the rest of the city?
A lot. First of all, I definitely like to believe that we have been the most influential band in New Orleans since I took over as band
I
director in the
agree.
car.
I
We
agree.
do things differently. I do things differently. I don't do things like everybody else. Um, I will say that we have some very dynamic drum majors, high school drum majors that everybody wants to be like. Um, we have a great drum section. We have a great band. When our kids are leaders wherever they go, whether they're section leaders in Southern, Jackson State, Talladega, Tennessee State, Texas Southern, wherever they go everywhere and they become leaders and assets to the band program. So I think the fact that we train not just for musicianship, we train the all-around student and building them to be better adults, better citizens. I think that's what sets us apart because we're not just about music. We're about building the whole child
Hey,
into a grown
Chalupa,
man and
I do
woman.
want to say this. I mean, I was in Walker Band, and I know we know Carl very well, and this is
Right,
nothing
right,
against
right.
John Summers and his band. Like I said, John Summers had great musicians, but their band was not competitive. You got to call and you made that band very
It's
competitive,
not.
you
Hey,
Not
created
listen,
true,
listen.
dog.
you
Chalupa
created
took Carl
something
to the next
No,
level.
no.
that hey, I'm
Chalupa took.
talking. I thought I was talking. Look,
it's the
you
round
made that
turn.
band a whole different specimen than what it was. So I do applaud you for doing that over there.
Let me say,
Appreciate that.
he did a good. Chalupa did a good job
Chalupa did a great
taking Carl
job
to the next
taking it to
level.
another level.
That's
Fuck
what he.
the
Hey,
real talking about.
John Summers is a great.
Yeah,
And
no, there's nothing against John Summers. He created great musicians. He was a great band director. But I'm saying as a whole, the program that caught was to what it is now,
Yeah, Chalupa took it to
it's
a
light
whole
years
nother level.
better.
Chalupa took it to a whole
Exactly.
nother level.
There ain't nothing against John Summers at all. God bless the dead.
Right, and
I, we actually
not
taught with John Summers too in the summer, walking in car.
so yeah, nothing against none of my predecessors did because I think everybody that was a band with that car contributed to the legacy of in the car. Just when I got there in the car, I did start off with about 25 kids. Most of
Exactly.
them were ninth graders, and
Wow.
then we grew from there. So, and then we basically built that music library back up from then. So again, it's not done taken away from Mr. John Summers, rest in peace. Great guy. Um, Great band director in the city of New Orleans. He was a Joseph S. Clark legend. Um, he was definitely known for putting Clark bands out there on the map. Um, so definitely I salute all my predecessors from my band director, Mr. Guy Wood, who was in the car for 18 years, to Mr. Corrigano, who was there for 1 year before he went on to Mississippi Valley, to John Summers, who kind of started a band program after Katrina, then to myself, who took over the band program and rebooted, restarted the whole thing back in August of 2010.
Hey, Chalupa, you mentioned
Yeah.
God Woods, man. A lot of people don't really know God Woods. I know of God Woods from concert band. What influence did God Woods? What influence he had in you, bro? Because a lot of I don't think
he definitely
know God Woods.
Guy Wood is definitely a legend in his own right. He's actually in the LMEA, Louisiana Music Educator Association Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So he actually gave me my foundation, my musical foundation to be the musician that I am. I was definitely one hell of a tuba player, one hell of a musician, thanks to him coming out of high school. You know, I made junior high and senior high District 6 honor bands. You know, I was exposed to a lot of that stuff thanks to him. We always went to district and state concert competitions under his directorship. And one thing about his bands, he loved woodwinds. We had nothing but woodwinds. We probably had like 5 trombones and like 25 clarinets back when I was marching. It's definitely it was definitely a very woodwind dominated band back when I marched in the car. We did have brass, of course, but it wasn't as numerous as it is now.
Matt, you have a
And
question?
Mr. Guy Wood is still teaching. Actually, he's been teaching for over 50 years. He's actually in his 52nd year teaching. Actually, he's teaching at Archbishop Charlotte.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Matt, you have a question for him?
Hey, let me throw this question on Chalupa because I really want him to answer this. I don't know if my dog drunk or what, but a question somebody out there asks. They love what you're doing for the kids. However, in his opinion, you come off arrogant than confident. So, what would be your response to that?
That's cool. You know, people are welcome to their own opinions. I'm definitely not an arrogant person. I do believe in being confident. I believe in that music builds confidence in you, and I pattern myself as a confident person because I want my students to be confident as well. Dr. Louis Adele was one of the most confident people that I've ever met in my life, and definitely Dr. Louis Adele from Jackson University was definitely one of my huge influences in my music career as a band director. So I definitely want to be patterned a little bit after Dr. Adele.
Hey man, let's introduce. Darryl Coleman finally got.
You don't need no damn introduction. You don't need an introduction.
Let's go, Darryl Coleman. Darryl Coleman, band director at Frederick Douglass High School, 9 Water. There you go.
Water on here.
Why should I say?
9 Water in the building.
What's good? Ready to cut up.
What's that? So we were just talking about somebody said about your arrogancy.
Lord.
So let me say this because I get that a lot. I get that a lot. So what's the difference? What's the difference between being arrogant and confident?
That's a great question.
The difference between arrogant and being the difference from being arrogant and confident is the fact that most people take arrogance. I can honestly say that from my standpoint. I'm very overconfident in anything that I put my name on. Any program that I'm a part of, anything that I do, I'm very confident because I feel like if I'm not confident in my program, who else is going to be confident in it? So I have to instill that confidence in order to instill that confidence within my students. The program I'm at right now, they really didn't have too much of pride. So, and I'm not from Douglas, you know what I'm saying? I didn't go to Douglas. So it's like nothing that's holding me to it, like to have a sense of pride. So I had to instill a pride myself, as well as making sure that the kids instill pride because this is a legacy that they have. It's not my legacy. So as far as the difference between arrogance and pride, I think some people feel that you're overly arrogant when you're too confident. And I'm sorry that people feel that way, but I have to, be overconfident within my program. So, yeah, that's all I can really say about that right now.
I think I agree with both of you brothers. That whole cocky thing. I don't think any of the band directors come across as cocky. I think y'all give both sides. I love the fact, again, since we've been doing this show, I've found out so much, especially from you two guys, from like since having band directors on the show. Y'all give the high sides of what's going on. Y'all give the like some of the adversities y'all are up against. So I think that when y'all have victories or when y'all able to produce the products that y'all are, when y'all able to
Right.
produce those products, I think y'all deserve to celebrate. Y'all deserve to
Yeah,
celebrate with
yeah.
those kids and everything else. So all of that cocky talk, I tell this to Johnny, and so I relate this to y'all as well. Man, the hell with all of that. Have fun
Like
with them babies, man.
it's
Make
one thing,
high
man.
school
Like
memorable like it was for us.
I have to have confidence in my program in order to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. Like when you're trying to build pride at a school that like really don't have too much of a pride. And
Hmm.
people do take I talk shit a lot. I'm a shit talker. So maybe that's probably why people take my confidence as arrogance because I'm talking shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mean no harm about it. But my whole thing is I have to boost myself up in order for my kids to feel like that they good. I don't be meaning no harm if people take it as arrogance, but fuck, I'm overly confident. I have to be. I'm sorry for
And
cursing.
that
Yeah,
also
I'm sorry.
puts another
yeah,
that
be
put a
confident.
fire under your students
Yeah, when
when you
my
see your
band
band
director
director
talking shit,
behind
I
you.
love that.
Yeah, you won't
Yeah,
get crazy.
But
So
Chalupa,
it's
So
with them
needed.
glasses on, it take culture to another
Barrow
level.
said earlier, you gotta have confidence to instill into your kids, and that's something that I do. I believe in my students to
yeah,
the fullest. I believe my students are going to perform to their best, and I'm my own hardest critic. Our kids are their own hardest critics. So
yeah,
if we don't go out there believing that we have that confidence to defeat anybody, to show off our hard work, then who's gonna believe in us? It's enough that you have a
exactly.
lot of trolls out there in the band world. Look, we gotta believe in ourselves, and nobody else got us. Who?
Right,
See
right.
me, I don't need sunshade to make me confident. I just go out there and do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And that's take an L to car every year. I know, I understand.
But
let me
listen,
start.
listen.
Let me ask
The
them
thing
this
with
question.
the thing with the arrogance on some real shit. I never pick with nobody first. People always pick with me. I never started. I'm not gonna never start the drama and the shit. But people saw it with me, and I just gotta finish it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a troll just naturally, so I'm
Wait,
going
now, Barrel,
any
that's
situation.
not what I heard. I heard that you'll take your band and crank on another band in a minute.
No, now listen, I'm a chill. But if you move the wrong way or you give me like slick side shit, like you're trying to do, like Johnny be doing, like he's trying to, he want to hear how you sound first. He want to hear you to play all your songs, and he want to hear how you sound first. Then he want to blow. See, I'm the type of person, I'm not with the acting like we don't know like what we came here for. We know what we came here for. So let's just get it on.
So
Yeah.
you are one of those band direct. I guess that is word on the street about you. Barrel or crank on you.
Yeah, yeah. But my whole thing is not really for me. It's for my students. They need to understand that like other bands don't care about you like at all. You know what I'm saying? And I have to instill that in them. Like so, my whole thing is I'm not the type of person that's aggressively that's going to just like crank at you. But if you moving the wrong way or you feeling some type of way, or I done heard something you said, like let's just get it on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no hoe.
I ain't gonna lie, I would.
Like the
I
megaphone
would.
that mix, like when you was on
I
that
would blow on
megaphone
somebody,
that
especially
mix
if I got
that
on my
night.
mind. I would definitely blow on
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah. I'm just going. Yeah, I
So
never care because I don't.
y'all don't believe in letting bands just peacefully walk by y'all band. They got to get it.
No, I would do that. But if your band director, he better be humble. He cannot say nothing because I'm gonna say some shit to him. But if he say anything in the process of him walking by, I'm gonna say, "Band, turn around and let's smash them."
So hold up.
Like,
What Darryl said, he says, I'm talking about it, that's him. But I swear for God, when Eddie Carver was battering, that boy said, the real band is here. The real
yeah, I
band
did.
He
I
did.
did.
He did.
I did. Let me say the reason why I did that. Let me say, and let me tell you my reason. Let me tell you my reason for doing that. All right. So my arrogance and aggression comes as, oh, this bitch is just evil. You know what I'm saying? No, it's the things that led up to that to make me just like put the icing on the cake. Now at this point, so me and Johnny always battled. We was rivals at Wedge Up. You know what I'm saying? Like we always added at Wedge Up. And Johnny started this. I was minding my own business. We was getting them ready to march off in the parade in front of him. Of course, and my band's always in front of his band. So we was getting ready to march off in front of him.
What?
And Johnny, my band was always in front of your band at
Was
Wedge
he in
Up.
front of this year?
Of course not. I'm at
Did I
Douglas.
never get a W?
Yeah, I came. I'm at Douglas. You know what I'm saying? But
Hold
like
up.
damn, I'll bet.
This call in 18. I
Did I never get a W against you, Barrel? I mean, I don't know.
Huh?
Did they get a W against you?
I have beat both of y'all. I did
I
not.
don't
Johnny
know.
ever got it up?
I
Johnny,
Jack doesn't have a good track record, high school battle wise.
if Johnny ever got a W, honestly, if I can say that Johnny got a W when I was at West Jeff, it probably would have been we done a convention. I ain't gonna lie, like the first like two, we played like 4 songs. The first 2 songs I smashed him, and the second 2 he smashed. But in my heart, I felt like, you know, I'm like, bitch, like I'm telling my band, like, play these fucking horns, you know what I'm saying? They yamming over here. You know what I'm saying? So if anytime I can honestly say that I feel like that they smashed us was that time. But Johnny do sneak attacks, like I said, like, you know, I'm marching off in a parade, and Johnny Band comes around the corner out the blue while we marching up the street, playing digits from the breakdown. So,
hey, we gotta get a real question in for y'all.
Go ahead, do y'all thing, man. I'm sorry.
Bird, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, some band directors that inspired you guys on your journey in this band world.
Who are first?
I'll go ahead and start it off. Banners that inspired me. Well, some of my biggest influences have definitely been Mr. Guy, who gave me my musical foundation as a musician starting off. Definitely Dr. Lewis Adele at Jackson State University, Dr. Ronaldo Murray, Mr. Dowell Taylor, among others. A lot of my instructors at Jackson State really influenced me a lot. New Orleans wise, I definitely, when I was in high school, I did look up to Mr. French, the Rawlins brothers, all of the greats that have been in New Orleans for a long time. And you can't talk about influence in New Orleans without talking about Mr. Hamp from saying, no, you know, he's definitely the GOAT of all influences in New Orleans bands.
All right, some band directors that influenced me on, you know, just basically my career, some things that I take from them all the time and like kind of implement within my program is number one is Joseph Tarragano. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with him. I know a lot of people are familiar with his brother, Michael Tarragano. But Joseph Tarragano was one of the main influences because out of all my band directors that I told that I wanted to be a band director, like the high school I went to, I'm probably the only people, I'm one of the only people who became a band director at this point. And he kind of took a liking into understanding that I wanted to be a band director and always tried to mold me on the back end, you know what I'm saying, with stuff in junior high school. As well as Miguel Bynes, I give a lot of credit to him, like a lot of credit, because the ins and the outs and the rights and the wrongs I learned from him. Any mistake that he made, anything that he done, or anything I didn't want to do, like the mistakes that he made and shit like that, we always talk about him, and he always kind of like mold me to become better all the time, like all the time. And I took some things from Clarence Giffen as well, just off leadership, how he conduct the program, how he handled the program, as well as how he managed Texas Southern Band when I was there, although he was the assistant band director. Properly at Texas Southern as well. And I took some trait from Wilbur Rawlins, but most everything came from Miguel Bynes and Joseph Tarragano, honestly.
Yeah, man, definitely got to give a shout out to Miguel Bynes as well. That's definitely somebody who's always giving me advice. Also, Mr. Lonzie Jackson is somebody that actually has been a good resource as a band director. And a lot of our colleagues definitely reach out to each other and help support one another.
Yeah. Lonzie Lonzie is my counselor. Lonzie is my therapist, man. I talk to Lonzie damn near about anything that I'm going through because we have a lot of similarities within our career. He's like known for constantly building programs. I don't want to constantly build programs, but he does help along the way. You know what I'm saying? Giving me good advice and making sure that, you know, I'm on the straight and narrow path and always thinking positive. Lonzie is the positive person. Whenever I'm thinking negative, he's always the positive one. And sometimes I don't want to hear the positive shit. But also Edward Hampton, growing up, as well as Kendrick Ford. Kendrick Ford, that used to be a band director. He was band director at Booker T. Washington. I marched at Booker T. Washington as a mascot in 5th grade. And I used to always sneak in Booker T. school, and he used to always talk to me. And just he always knew I wanted to be a musician. I had my own trumpet as a kid. So like, and he came back as concert band, as our concert band director. And I learned a lot from him at that point. So I always wanted to mold my program as, you know, as like how he molded his programs. Kendrick Ford.
I also got to give a shout out to Mr. Kevin Johnson, who's now director at Jackson State, and Mr. Ricardo Emilian. They were upperclassmen when I was a crab, and as a first-time band member at Jackson State University. And those two were definitely huge influences in me staying in the band, staying in the music major, because I saw how great they were, and I wanted to be just like them. You know, they was from New Orleans, just from the city, and they had so much influence in the band. I mean, I was like, man, I want to be like them when I get to be my senior year in the band, and I got to give them huge shout outs, and they've been great, great, great sounding boards for me whenever I have a question about music or whatever it is.
Y'all see that question up there, fellas? Y'all want to answer that
Yeah,
question?
how do y'all feel about arranging music up now? And I couldn't see everything else.
He said, how
What
do
do you
you feel
say?
about arranging music now, and how do you feel about the instrument voicing and arranging?
Well, something that I do at Douglas, I try to stay away from. I'm too advanced in my brain when I arrange, so I try to stay away from that with my high school program. On the strength of when I conceive something, I want to play it exactly how I conceived it, and I know my program is not there yet. So I try to like tone everything down, but me toning down is like kind of taking away from what I really conceived. So I try to stick to things that I know that they can play, like songs that I came up on that I know that'll be great for instrumentation with our program. Like right now, my biggest struggle is my baritone section. I don't know why, but it's always been my baritone section, even at West Jeff. And I try to find songs that that's gonna kind of help my trombone section out as well as help my baritone section out. Every year to make a balanced program, make a balanced band. Even if I have to rearrange those arrangements to fit, I'll do that.
Well, ask Liza
Yeah.
for some
So,
baritone because he don't like baritone.
Yeah, Liza said he don't like
so
baritone.
I think that was a shot. I don't think he meant what he said. That was a shot.
I know. I got
It
you.
was more.
I
Liza
It
don't
got
was
you.
a
like that.
But
shot.
you
Liza
It
don't
was
like
more
baritone
definitely.
because Liza don't like baritone because he never had none.
so
Elijah,
yeah.
but that's enough for
Piggybacking
another
off of
conversation.
what Barrow said, definitely well, you got to write for your band. Whatever arrangement you have has to fit your band. You know your band as a band director. That's your responsibility to know what works for your band and what doesn't. You can't play the same arrangements that these colleges play. You have to
Hmm.
be able to have music arranged specifically for your band.
Hmm.
And one big thing that is really important is knowing the actual register
Of
of
the
those
instrument.
instruments.
Yeah.
You got to know the actual voicing. You got to be great with voicing. And that's really what was going to set your arrangements for your band apart.
Hey, I want to ask y'all this question. I asked the guys on the last segment this question. Do y'all feel pressure by being from New Orleans and being band directors and trying to uphold the legacy of what New Orleans was? Do y'all feel pressure by that?
At
Man,
a point, I did. When I was at West Jeff, my mindset was different. As far as band, how I operated band. Yeah, I did feel pressure because I felt like I'm Barrel. Everybody know me of talking shit. Everybody know me, being a band and shit like that. So they're gonna. I have to put out a product. Like it's no ifs ands or buts about it. I have to put out a product by any means necessary. So I do feel that pressure. Now I'm at Douglas and I'm a little bit older now. My focus is not the people per se. My focus is making sure that my kids get all they can get out of me and making sure that I'm not stressing myself out as well as doing my job and creating a program that Douglas never had. So that's my ultimate goal with that situation.
yeah, as far as legacies for me, I don't believe in just resting on a legacy. I believe in building a legacy. And that's something
Hmm.
that I'm always striving to do. I don't worry about what happened in years past. I want to make this year's band the best band possible. Make
Right.
sure I'm getting the most out of these kids. As far as outside pressure, I really feel more pressure from myself. I'm my own hardest critic.
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist. I always
Right.
every day when I get home, I always reflect and try to figure out what I could have done better and see what I could do better the next day, or how I could teach a certain rhythm, a certain section of a song, or I'm always thinking a million things in my head to make sure I
Right.
get the most out of these kids, because every band is different, especially in my case, where my kids aren't really in band class,
Hmm.
unfortunately due to scheduling issues. Um,
Hmm.
so I got to learn how to get the most out of these kids and teach as much as I can after school while still getting ready for performances.
Yeah, man.
So the
That's
pressure,
one of the
yeah,
hardest things. That's the hardest thing, honestly. Like what Chalupa just said, like, not having the classes how you need to have, and like, you teaching band in band practice. That's what makes it so hard. But I've learned
oh,
this new thing recently this year. What I do is I have a notepad. So I write down everything in a notepad. Normally I keep shit bottled up in my head, and that gives me like, anxiety, and also, it creates too much up here. So I have a notepad. I write everything down in my notepad, and I target one thing at a time, so I can keep a task of everything. And this shit worked out during Mardi Gras season. Like, I have no words during Mardi Gras season. By me being a band director, I don't have a staff. I'm the only person by myself. So I was scared to go into Mardi Gras season.
I thought Berg was on
without a. No, he's not on my staff. Don't come from my friend. Yeah. But yeah, I have a, you know what I'm saying, issue of constantly, like, I am my worst critic as well. And I'm always talking to Byron about that. Like, I'm the only person that can tell me down. Nobody else can tell me down. So, you know, that's something that, yeah, I'm trying to work on too.
Okay.
Say, man, y'all have any final thing y'all want to tell them, because we got to move on to the next people. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, you know.
Yeah.
Let me say this before we move on. Y'all two, I ain't gonna lie, I love battling these two guys, bro. Like, it's like Chalupa talks so much stuff in the back. Y'all don't know how much stuff. Chalupa, you see, one year you talk some stuff, so I got on one as an assistant. One of the assistants have on no socks. Meanwhile, he was and I had to get up on it. But bro,
so
if y'all don't know,
there's Chalupa and then there's Mr. Herrero, bro. You got to learn the difference between the two. Chalupa shows up at football games talking noise. Yeah. Mr. Herrero, that's what you get, you know, when I'm at work.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, and what y'all don't know is a lot of time, like, if you go look at the battle with me and what Everson and what Jeff, like, me and Barrow was actually talking stuff like,
yeah, we said shit, we ribbing and everything the whole time.
The whole time.
And it's all, and I don't want people to get it, because the audience needs to hear it. A lot of the time, this stuff is just all fun. We just have, like, we living our dream. It's all fun. This is just a bunch of guys, that's Asian and a woman, that we just having fun. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? So don't be taking the stuff that we do in public, like, to thinking that we really beefing. We not beefing, bro. I talk to these guys. Yeah. Like, I talk to these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Serious, because Johnny almost had his whole staff beat me up at the parade one time.
Yeah,
right. We do stray away from that these days. It's hard talking about band like these days, and showing your competitive nature. People take that the wrong way these days. Like, and I think it's the generations that have taken it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? But what was the question again that somebody asked? I think that was you that asked that, right, Matt or Johnny?
No,
somebody posed the question. The question that
somebody said, does it take away from you as a director if you don't arrange your own music for your program?
No. No. I know some good ass band directors that don't arrange music as well. I know some great arrangements that's horrible band directors. We see that now throughout the city.
I definitely agree with that. You know, every band does have the ability to arrange music, but it's just when it's, as a head director, it's harder to find time to write music.
Exactly.
So
Byron, do you hear that? Byron, do you hear that? Okay.
As a head director, it's harder to find time to write music, but that doesn't mean that somebody is a bad band director. Of course not. Like Barrow said it perfectly. You know, you have some band directors that really can't write that well, or might take them longer, or you have some arrangers that really can't teach very well. It all goes hand in hand. That's what
okay, well, then my question is, what is the job of a band director then? Because to a novice, their job is to produce music.
Everything.
What job? The job as a head band director is everything. You have to double and dabble in everything, but that's why you have a staff, so you can give other people that opportunity to, like, assistant band directors have your back 100%. I personally feel that assistant band directors should handle things like discipline. I'm a disciplinarian as well, but handle discipline. Handle arrangements, handle the sound of the band, and I come and leave the last little layer on there, making sure things is like how I want it, what my vision is. You get what I'm saying? So it's different when you have different roles. But being that I'm the only motherfucker, so I just do everything. Like, yeah.
See, bro, so what is Burger's job in your band?
We gotta move on.
Burger is my he my hype man.
I'm just messing with y'all, man.
And he's my assistant. Fuck that.
Mr. Herrero, Harold Coleman, man, we appreciate you.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
No problem, man.
All right.
I'll see y'all after Corona. Say, brother, that was good. That was a good segment. We really have some.
I'm letting y'all come for me this week, because watch next week how I do y'all dirty. Hey, look. I'm writing it down in my handy dandy notebook because I got something for everybody next week. So go ahead. I made sure I invited a few guests on. Just
bro.
a few.
Hey, bro.
Except you, Johnny. You've been the only one chilling.
Yeah, I kind of been a bit chilling. Say, bro, we got some.
Don't invite nobody on I hate. I'm telling you, don't do it because I don't have no filter.
Hey,
so
bro,
don't do that.
We got some Baton Rouge band directors, but they from the city, bro.
The legendary, man.
Legendary,
so you put that legendary tag on his name.
Legendary cats, Javon Pollard and Aaron Russell. That's a
Aaron. What up, Javon?
Man, Javon.
Unmute your mic, Aaron.
In the building.
Unmute your mic.
Aaron, unmute your mic.
I got you, brother. My bad. I forgot I put it on there.
Javon is the band director. Javon is his own man. Javon is his own man.
Needs no introduction.
He needs no introduction. Aaron is the band director at the Great Scotlandville.
Oh, they the great now? They the great because they all here now. Okay, I got you.
Oh, no, that's cool. Come on, Berger. Don't do nothing like that.
No, look, that was for Johnny, because Johnny about to be talking stuff in a second. That's the crazy part.
Nah. I like these guys. You know, I talk stuff to Javon with the Reed, and Reed been pissing me off lately. But I'm gonna let
Javon ain't gonna like this show. I hope he stick around.
Oh, yeah.
Javon, there's some bad stuff about to happen at the end.
I'm warning you. You would
I
not
had the
like
pick of the week. Brandon Kelly started with me.
Man,
hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I've been knowing Javon for a long, bro. That Abe and Reed stuff is real, dog. Like them dudes that come play their horn, like at Walgreens. Like I remember all that. You know what I'm saying? Dog, that's the type of stuff they used to have back in the day. Like they'll challenge. I remember him and it was him and JP. They'll come by Walgreens. Them niggas was always in the book. And I used to be messing with them. I didn't borrow some good dudes. But man, let's keep going, man. Man, we happy to have y'all on, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We really happy to have y'all on.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all for having us on, man.
Yeah. So Matt, I'm gonna start with you because we started with Darrell. You have a question for these brothers.
First, let them drop their band.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yes, please tell us about y'all band careers so far.
Javon Pollard Sr. Of course, y'all know I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I went to Sartre Reed Senior High School. I went to Fantasy Williams Middle School. Went to Southern University, played in the band, trumpet. My first teaching job was at Estruma High School. From there, I went on to where I'm currently at, Bel Air High School. So I know you guys are pressed for time, so it's just a short little bio.
He was sad.
Oh, sad?
I'm just messing with you.
I'm probably better than
I'm gonna keep quiet.
history.
All right. Let's keep going.
Well, man, my name is Aaron, bro. From New Orleans, of course. I went to John Mack Middle School. I went to Phillip. Man, look, Katrina pretty much took me out of everything. The rest of the time. Marston LLI, Rose Bowl Parade, Southern University, graduated 2013. Marston the Jukebox. Went to Texas for a little stint. Came back to Scotlandville. Pretty much been building my own program, doing what I could do. So, man, yeah, that's pretty much my band facts out.
Hey, man, start us out with a question.
All right, cool, man. Hey, man, like I said, man, it's always good having you brothers on, man. I learned. I saw you throw it up, Javon. It's always good having you brothers on, man. I learned so much. Question for y'all though, man. What are some of the differences between you, because you brothers are from the city, between Baton Rouge programs and programs in New Orleans? Like, what are some of the differences?
Oh, that's for both of us?
Yes, that's for both you guys.
Yeah, go ahead, Vaughn.
I think we have a lot of similarities, but there's still, I guess, a philosophical differences in terms of the expectations here in Baton Rouge. We are in terms of marching band, we are a drill first band. Then the focus becomes what we play in the stands. But I don't think that there's in terms of our mindset, we all are bred kind of with that very aggressive style. But in Baton Rouge, I guess the attention is elsewhere at times. We're not so much focused on the stands as much as the New Orleans bands are.
Mhm.
I mean, a big thing, man. We, like you said, it's philosophical reasons and differences between what we got to do in Baton Rouge and New Orleans versus New Orleans. We got people on our head about going to festival. You know, they're gonna double back. They're gonna check. They're gonna gauge whether they're gonna support our program based on that kind of stuff, and that really dictates our success. Really, what we do in the spring, not just necessarily what we do in the fall. That's mainly what we prepare for. So a lot of people like to think about, what's going on around parade season and this, that, and the other. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, man, look, we lose kids. We lose kids come parade season. Kids going to do other things. We get our big influx of kids in the fall, and everything trickles down. We working on more festival preparation and concert band just to make sure that we continue to get ready for the next season, because it's not the same. The culture is not the same. Band is not the culture in Baton Rouge. It ain't gonna happen. It's sports first, regardless. So whatever kids we can get, we try to maintain and keep them, and pray for the best a lot of times. So we make the best out of a lot of situations.
That's what's up, man.
Go ahead, Burger.
You want me to go with the next question? Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. I ain't know.
Oh, you don't have to go. Let's see what
I
Greg.
know. I got it.
Yeah.
What is your experience like being from New Orleans, playing for New Orleans, and now teaching in Baton Rouge?
My experience, because I guess I'm so far removed. I graduated from high school in 2002, and I guess it's all teaching, man. I think one of the biggest, as Mr. Roussel stated, one of the biggest hurdles is the fact that, just like my man Chalupa said, we don't have kids in the class. So I guess the biggest difference I see is just the aggressive style. Like the kids here, we grew up in a culture of music. Whether the kid played in the band or not, they grew up second line in some form of music. In Baton Rouge, kids are kind of ignorant to that. They haven't been as exposed. So I guess the biggest thing is just exposure. Most kids, if we have to do statistics, most kids in Baton Rouge start in high school playing music versus us, man. It's the culture. You 5 years old, you got a trombone in your hand. So I guess that's the biggest thing that I see, the biggest difference.
That's pretty much the same, like what I was gonna say. Looking at the culture from little to growing up to being a grown man, this dude's still playing their horns in New Orleans. In New Orleans All-Star, they 30, 35, 40 years old coming back for All-Star band. Dog, I can't find nobody really in Baton Rouge that's still playing their horn that was, playing in high school. That culture was big. That culture is big. Being from the city, man, we already know it's a get it out of the mud situation. You couldn't bank on somebody teaching you how to play right then and there. You knew that if you was in the band, you ain't want nobody to call you sad. You know what I'm saying? You was looking around, you got these dudes playing next to you. I got people like Paulo, Jamie, and all of them. I'm looking up to. I'm growing up in the St. Bernard. Like Jamie lived down the street from me, playing trumpet for Kennedy. And that dude used to be walking to the stove with his horn in his hand, screaming, playing all kind of stuff. He going to Spiders, come back from Spiders. He got a whole loaf of bread and milk in the other hand, and the trumpet in this other hand, and playing. Like really just wailing, like cutting up. And I'm sitting up there on the second floor looking out the window like, man, this nigga cold. Like I ain't they don't have it out here. You don't see kids walking around playing the instrument out here. That culture is so different. And a lot of times I wish we had it. I really did.
Somebody asked,
I got a question.
What will it take for both of y'all to come back to the city and lead program?
Sips the tea.
What would it take for both of us to return back to the city? For me, I'm gonna just be honest. I have no desire to come back to the city. In terms of,
Reed?
Now hear me out. I graduated from Reed. I love the city, but in terms of where I'm trying to go, that's just not on my cards right now. If that's something God has for me later, then I welcome that with open arms. But for the now, no, it's a no for me.
As far as me going back to the city, bro, like I'm the kind of guy that looks back like I got a passion for what I do, and then you take a step and go into a different place and you learn something new, and you say, "Oh, this ain't what I thought it was." A lot of people don't really know what being a band director is until they, like, as far as the city is concerned, until you step outside the city and really see what being a band director is. once I learn something, I'm gonna hold myself liable. Certain things I can't bring back to the city. Like I'm gonna be fighting trying to get a concert band culture going, like an LMEA festival band, year in and year out. Why? Because the focus is always on y'all marching these Mardi Gras parades this year. Y'all getting ready for y'all doing parade practice. Y'all doing. I don't do parade practice though. When y'all see Scotlandville come down for the parade, we ain't got no parade practice. It ain't none of that. Like, and it's a big thing. It's you got to fight, and I don't want to have to fight for that. And of course, like Javon said, man, I got other goals that really require me to, really master my craft. And the certain aspects of being a band director that most don't usually have to do as far as the requirement in New Orleans. So, I mean, I love the city. Like, I really, really do. And I'm going to make sure I come back every year because that's home. But as far as coming to teach, nah, it's going to have to be some big changes.
Y'all both in Baton Rouge, from New Orleans. And I understand not coming back to teach in New Orleans, but what's the focus of getting your band to New Orleans, knowing that you're from New Orleans, to come to some of these events, like a battle and stuff like that to come? I know because Javon, last time you battled in New Orleans, man, we smashed y'all at Six Flags, but how focused are y'all get a band to New Orleans like nowadays to participate against some of these bands?
Honestly, man, y'all didn't smash us, but let me get to the point. Man, we actually enjoy those events, especially when invited. And we try to come down to Mardi Gras because Mardi Gras is pretty much all of the events that we know about. And typically, like Roussel said, we are slated to do certain things in certain times, so we can't just get a bus and be like, "Hey, man, we coming to the city." So Mardi Gras first, that one parade, that's why we'd be so excited to come. Like I know, who was that? I know Berger could tell you. I know one year I came down, he was like 4 hours early, just sitting there. I don't know who's gonna get blew out or not, but we were just sitting there, So we love to answer the question, man. I love bringing my band down to the city just for them to even just see bands, and they need to see that aggressiveness because the city band, even Abe, they're very aggressive.
Man, I gotta say, like, man, since I've been at Scotlandville, though, I done seen St. Aug probably like 3 times. I done seen them like 3 times. We had them on the schedule back to back, and we seen them in the playoffs twice. And man, no, like my kids see that. Like that first game against St. Aug, bro, like they was shook because they ain't know. Like I'm keeping it real with you, they ain't even know. But
hey, hold on. Can I address Barrow said something like that? He said we're trying to downplay what they do in the city here at concert band every year. Definitely not trying to downplay that, man.
Definitely not, bro.
Big shout out to whoever have concert band.
I put it like this: you take it how you want. I can't say how you decide to take it. Whatever I say, that's coming true from my heart. So however you take it, that's how you want it. I ain't got no problem with you. But at the same time, we had to see back to back.
Lord. Y'all mute our wrong. Y'all mute our wrong.
Look, I ain't got no problem. Crazy. That's my people, man. You good people, bro. I always encourage the brother. I ain't got no problem, man. But we seen St. Aug like 3 times, dog. Every time we progressively got better. We even seen St. Aug at Battle of the Bands when they came out here. You know what I'm saying? So my kids actually look up to the culture. So I make it a point to get them down there. Like I make it a point. I let them know. I'm like, look, we gonna go down here. All this little shoo-shooing stuff that y'all like to do, talking about it, that ain't it. Because when you get down here, you're going to be with the wolves. You're going to be with the dogs. And you got to stand on your own 2 feet and do what you do.
Hey, Lo really been serious about this music supervisor thing.
Yes.
Really
to answer a little question, I think it is extremely important to have a music supervisor, especially for accountability purposes. So just to make that answer short, yes, it is important.
You got to uphold a standard. You got to have a standard that's going to be set, and everybody got to at least live up to that standard at the minimum. You got to have goals set for all the band programs in the particular area.
When y'all say standard, what do y'all mean? For band, because a lot of band directors have their own version of a standard. So when y'all say standard, what do y'all mean as a standard?
I would consider the standard to be, I guess, having a comprehensive program. If you want to use that word, comprehensive. I think a lot of times, man, and this is no slight to New Orleans, because Baton Rouge, we're guilty too. Sometimes, man, we get so caught up and appeasing other people, and we just neglect a lot of things with band, man. Like, we go out there and put these performances on for 8 minutes, for somebody to hit the like button, but we got to go back to that band room the next day. So I think the standard is, man, trying your best to uphold a comprehensive program versus just one section of band.
And it's big to have somebody that's going to vouch for you, because a lot of band directors don't have nobody that's going to vouch for them on the administrative level. So having that music supervisor to come in and that's authorized to say, hey, these things, this is what your band program needs in order for them to continuously be successful. And if you, like, as far as getting kids into classes, like, I had to go to my administrators and tell them, like, look, I need my kids in these classes. I need this class. I need that class. How y'all want a band on Friday night, and y'all want a band to represent y'all on Saturday? Because I heard Chalupa and them talking about not being able to have a band class. Heard Barrow talking about not being able to have kids in class and teaching after school. You got to have somebody that's going to vouch for you. You're going to go there and say it, but they're going to say that's because that's what you're supposed to say. You just come in begging versus
I guess more so,
Ty coming in and handling that.
I guess more so it comes down to just advocacy, man. Have somebody advocating for your program outside of you. So that's that in a nutshell.
So I want to say this right quick. Hold up, Berg. I want to say this right quick. The way New Orleans is structured, like, the music supervisor we have too many different charter schools for us to have like a music suit, because my charter expectations probably would be different from Inspire NOLA charter. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the music supervisor thing. I think maybe each charter school needs to have a person over their music department. The way we run our stuff, like under our charter school system, we have Carver, Abe, Rosenwell, and Livingston. So like maybe somebody over those particular people, but I think all those guys doing a good job. But I vouch for myself though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Y'all have a different system because y'all under East Baton Rouge Parish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
look here.
It's different.
But look here. Pay attention. Look into how schools are being graded in Louisiana now. Because if the charter schools are being graded the same way that the other schools are being graded, your electives count. Your electives really, really matter as it pertains to the school's grading system. So you could put that into perspective when you go in to talk to them and say, look, when you got all these kids in these music programs, this counts towards the SPS score for the school, Like, and then they got to consider, okay, I got to have this kid in this class so they can be successful at doing this. They can be successful at doing that. We can go represent in other ways that are not just the traditional ways for our band program that we already know about.
All right, and then Johnny, to add on to what you said about vouching for yourself, man, that's super important too. I mean, of course, you want to be able to represent yourself in a positive light, but bro, you also have to get out there and network and go to these professional developments, go to your Midwest and all these different conferences. A big part of people's success, bro, you have to go out and you have to see other things. A lot of times we get locked up in our box. And the one thing about me and Aaron is out here in Baton Rouge, although we super competitive, like it ain't nothing for him to be like, hey man, Vaughn, come listen to my class, tell me what you think, or vice versa. So just building that rapport. I think that's key too, man. You got to go out and go to these professional developments, and you got to network and see what other people are doing. And I was told, if you ain't stealing, you ain't trying, man. Go take some stuff you like from somewhere and implement it in your program, especially if it's effective. So,
well, you want to read. We know y'all know about stealing.
Y'all went to class in trailers. Your class said trailer 101.
What are you referring to, Johnny? I'm curious.
Hey, he graduated on 2. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Hey, I want to go back to this.
What y'all say. So, like, when I got to Abe, them people didn't know nothing about no band of music.
They never knew nothing about band of music.
You know what I'm saying?
Back Wave Fest, Javon.
So, like, I had to implement.
Wave Fest. All right. Go ahead, John.
I had to implement a lot of different things and had to enlighten them on a lot of different things when I got to Abe, which made my job harder. But I would rather want to vouch for myself to have the program that I would want to have than somebody else.
What are you measuring that off of?
Huh?
When you say vouch for yourself, what are you measuring that off of?
I guess I'm measuring that off of when I started the program. When I started the program, and I mean,
I'm saying, was there a particular program that you've seen that you like?
Standards and all that stuff, right? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about when you got to Abramson, was there a particular band that you say, hey man, I like what they do. I'm gonna incorporate some of this in my band.
I'm not gonna comment on that. Okay. I'm not gonna let anybody get together with band I implemented Abramson on. I'm not gonna comment on it.
Hey, y'all was talking about that music supervisor thing. I do feel like if the city got one of those, and I'm not trying to be mean, a lot of niggas wouldn't have a job. Because if a music supervisor comes in and holds you to a standard, a lot of dudes in New Orleans already ain't teaching shit. So if you get somebody that's coming down here and saying,
they're lazy.
Standard, man, dudes gonna be in unemployment line getting that $720 a week.
That's bullshit. Because they had niggas, they had band directors before the storm that didn't deserve jobs and still had jobs. So that's
bullshit. They was cool.
But band directors before the storm wasn't lazy. These bands today in New Orleans are lazy.
Listen, you can say what you want. You put a music supervisor down here that hold a standard, a lot of dudes will not have a job. And me and you had this conversation before. If we put somebody down here that say, I want to, like Javon said, a full music program, not just a marching band, niggas will not have jobs.
So you telling me,
they're not upholding the position of the band director.
Oh, we don't want to talk. Let's the Javon and Haran talk about this.
Yeah, that's why I asked them that question. Why I say what I had to say to them, because I mean, I'm just being real. Like, I feel like a lot of people do make excuses when it comes to concert band. I understand.
Jared just said a mouthful. Jared said a student get hurt more when the standard ain't raised.
That's true. That's true. I believe that.
Yeah. Like, picture this.
But that's it. But you see, I feel this, dude. When you talk about standard, that's something that's in you. No fucking person gonna make you do like no person.
It's not that. What they saying is
you need a measuring stick.
It's like your boss. It's basically your boss on your job. That's telling you this is the standard to work here. And if you want to continue to work here, this is what I need from you as a band director. It's not so much telling you your job. It's basically making sure that you're doing it.
I don't think it would be unfair for there to be some supervisor to come along and say, hey, by the end of the school year, your band should have accomplished A, B, and C. You know, I don't think that would be unfair. I don't think that would be on any job. There's a quota, there's a goal, you know what I mean. I don't think that would be unfair.
Look at the football team. I mean, if the coach don't win in 3 years, they fire him.
Yeah, you get fired.
What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts on that?
Yeah, what is this? What is this? Y'all in East Baton Rouge? What is y'all's? What is the things that you have to have? As
in East Baton Rouge Parish, honestly, we can go to a football game and play 2 songs. But what you have to have is point blank period. You have to have a symphonic band in the spring semester, and more so in some schools they put symphonic band year round, fall and spring. Most of the time we have to do a fall concert, spring concert, the whole 9. And I mean, honestly, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Because the concert band pushes your marching band, just period. Yeah. In my opinion. And that's no slight. I know some people do jazz band and all that. All that's great. But you know, just the standard is having a comprehensive program, and that includes marching band, symphonic band, concert band. Here.
All the way around, like man,
we can't really get around that. We can't tiptoe around it. If we don't go to festival, we can't ask for a flute or a clarinet for the next year.
We definitely can't get around it, but at the same time, when these kids go to somebody's college band program, like when you talking about auditioning, man, I done heard a dude audition on playing Vice Versa for a college band. I done heard a dude audition playing Head Busters and Neck for a college band because you was ignorant to the fact.
That's crazy.
And then you got another kid double back and come back playing the Carnival of Venice right behind me, making that kid look even worse. Let alone the kid from before then. So we're talking about exposure. Being a man, like if by the time you left your high school band program, if you haven't played at least 10 different songs, 10 different pieces of literature, by the time you left, I mean, man, come on.
when
you
y'all
gotta expose these kids to way more. Like Jackson State came down to my bedroom to audition some kids. Man, them kids was shook. And it was everything that we had practiced on. But they were still shook because they were still thinking, oh, Jackson State gonna come and ask me for some marching band related stuff. They ain't do that. You know, what's at J State, man. What it was at J State. O'Neal Sample was there. When O'Neal Sample came down there, man, my percussionists, they were sitting there trying to, you know, go through a little chopping and all that, man. And he asked them about that xylophone. You playing the xylophone, can you read? Can you play? Can you navigate the xylophone? Can you navigate this melodic percussion and all of these different things? Like, man, come, they not asking for what we've been training them with.
Another thing, man, we tend to lean on the buddy system. That's why a lot of us don't do a lot of teaching, because we figure, my homeboy gonna get him into college, so don't worry about knowing this. And I'm not gonna throw any college names out there, but a lot of times we shortchange these kids for self. Hey, look at me. We want to battle the band, but now what happens Monday when you gotta go in the classroom? The battle band was Saturday. Now we back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I think a lot of times, because we know we can get kids in certain universities that don't require much, we don't require much of them either. So
I can ask you on this question. Y'all say festival, you talking about the East Baton Rouge Festival? Are you talking about LMEA?
We talking about LMEA.
Okay.
LMEA.
We don't have the East Baton Rouge. Back in the days, Javon, we had all East Baton Rouge.
I know.
You don't have that like an East Baton Rouge.
East Baton Rouge Parish is under the LMEA umbrella, so our guidelines are, and the crazy thing about it is, in some schools you are assessed by going to festival. Like, if you don't go to festival, that's your assessment for that particular year. So yeah,
this year, bro, my band got ones on stage for the first time in 20-some odd years in Schuylerville band history, because Schuylerville used to be all magnet. Right now it's traditional and magnet, so you got kids out the neighborhood and kids from across the city that come to the school. Well, for the first time in 20 years, we got ones on stage at festival, and that was crazy. Like, I had all kind of people from alumni call me when they got the news about that band program, from the band program back in the days. That was what they was gauged on, what they were being assessed on year in and year out. Not having a band program, the band program that you see now. Because if you are a magnet school here in Baton Rouge, they're expecting you to be able to produce high quality in everything that you do. So, I mean, I had to do the same thing with the band program, and the same thing for Javon, man. Like, watching him do everything that he's done to build that program, I mean, a lot of times I model myself behind that.
Not to say this, I do want to do shout out for the band directors in New Orleans that do hold concert bands, but this is for the cameramen. The way y'all show up for them marching band events, I really do wish y'all keep that same energy for these people with these concert bands. There's a lot of bands in the city that do have concert bands, but the cameramen not rolling out to that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but Berger, in the defense of the cameramen are out here to get views, and so it's not about. Back in the day, Aberson had their concert band was on Channel 8 constantly. I can guarantee you it wasn't viewed as much as it would have been if Aberson was in a band battle. So it's man, it's a matter. The cameramen have to go. They lean toward what's.
Say everybody putting the emphasis on concert, man, and doing all this stuff. Because from what my understanding, when you're in Jefferson Parish, you have to do it. Jefferson Parish hold a concert festival every year. And every band director that's in Jefferson Parish, you have to go. It's mandated that you go. So I feel like, why can't we do that for all these parishes after parade season? I don't see what's wrong with it.
How much is? Hey man, look, we gotta get the next two hosts on, the next two guests on, bro. Javon, Iran, man, we gonna have to have y'all on here again. We gonna have to talk about some other things about, you know, the Baton Rouge culture just in general. Like, bro, it's just an honor to like have y'all on this show, man. I really respect both of y'all. Like, I call y'all for a lot of advice. People don't know. Like, I call Javon. Javon give me tips all the time. Javon be like, man, just let me know I can come to your. Like, even read his rivals, but Javon always tell me, whenever you need me, I'm there. That's love, bro. That's go beyond anything. Iran, I call Iran. It's just the same way, bro. I really appreciate y'all too, Cash, man. Man, we appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all for having us, bro. Looking forward to the dialogue. I see some stuff in the Facebook thing. Some questions.
See a lot of comments that I wanted to address.
Me too, man.
Me too. Yeah.
Hey man, look, this, what we
a
gonna,
lot of stuff I wanted to.
man, what we gonna do? We should just have a show with just them two.
I don't mind
Man,
that.
look,
We can
I'll
set
be
that
up
up.
for it, dog.
In the
We can
future.
set that up most definitely.
Maybe another band director from Baton Rouge. Just them two. You know?
I just take them two. I take
Yeah.
them two.
You don't need nobody else.
We don't need
No,
nobody
Ricky.
else. I take them two.
I thought Ricky was a band director. Oh no, he's not. What's this?
He's a teacher. Hey, he makes some fire t-shirts.
Boy, Ricky better go. Ricky better get some fucking sidewalks on his block, man. He don't have no sidewalks on this block. Man, thank y'all, Javon, and thank y'all, Ron, man, for coming on, bro.
Appreciate you for having me, dog.
Salute.
Say, bro, let me say this right quick. A lot of we talking about concert band. I didn't have concert band, but let me say this. In Orleans Parish, when I was in school, we had Orleans Parish Festival, Superintendent's Festival. We don't have that no more in New Orleans. So you have a concert band, you having it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So when we do brass band, like we do the competition for brass band. If you win, you get $10,000. If you get second place, you get $7,000. You adding money to your band program, which the school don't really fund the programs. The band fund the program. So sometimes you get caught in should I practice for this versus should I practice for this. You feel what I'm saying?
I get you, but let's move on because we
got to move on. Hey, I think you try to fix it. See, bro,
hey, somebody phone messing up. Darrell, can you mute your phone?
Our next guest are the Rollins brothers. The Rollins brothers, Mr. Wilbur Rollins and Mr. Low Rollins. Mr. Wilbur Rollins and Mr. Low Rollins. The Rock. Oh, I thought look at on the helmet.
Hey, listen, y'all ain't gonna be playing with all of this Kennedy that's on here. Salute, big brothers.
Salute, fellas.
What up, Mr. Rollins?
K in effect.
What's up? The K in the house. What's up, Darrell?
Hey.
What's up, buddies? How y'all doing?
All right.
Man, I just heard y'all talking about the concert bands, man, and all that stuff, man. That's dialogue that's got to be had, man. It's got to be more than one session, one script. You're talking about the fact that first of all, I would like to say we got to stop stop letting other folk judge us by what it is that we know we're supposed to be doing. Our situation is different. Okay, in New Orleans, you have Mardi Gras season, like Mr. Van Buren said, you have Class Got Brass. You can march 3 Mardi Gras parades, which is going to take you 15 hours, 20 hours if you prepare for getting dressed and undressed and bus rides and this. And you could go play a 3-minute segment at Class Got Brass and make $10,000.
Yeah.
Which means that's how you buy instruments, because nobody's going to buy instruments for you. That's how the key to band to me is exposing the child to the world. So if I have $10,000, then yeah, I can have a band trip for 5 or 6 days, but like he said before, New Orleans used to have what's called the Superintendent's Music Festival. The Superintendent's Music Festival was approximately 30 days after LMEA, which meant that it gave us time after Mardi Gras season. Now, I think everybody has their own concert band. Every year when you talked about people playing the Carnival of Venice, I don't know if you were talking about Bear and Luell. They played that at Landry Walker's spring concert. Every year we have a spring concert and a Christmas concert. That involves a concert band. So we do have the bands. We're just not going to these quote unquote festivals that's going to judge, the bands in their own manner. Our festival, Darrell, he played in the concert band at Old Perry Walker. We had a beautiful concert. What that was at Mardi Gras World, right? And all of the seniors jackets and trophies and awards. So we do have concert bands. It's just that we're not maybe going to attend the quote unquote festivals that other folk put on. We do need to have our own festival. I don't want to take the whole segment, but we do need to bring back the Superintendent's Music Festival, because if you're talking about having concert festival the week after Mardi Gras, man, my kids just beat the streets up. They playing song cadence all night long. The muscles in the lips are all stretched out of place. Because that's what the people in the street want to hear. Under the bridge, they want their ears to bleed. You can't come back a week later and have a kid to play with such control and contour on these instruments. I can't take my oboe player who really plays trombone and put them on the oboe in a week and get a good grade, a good sound, So I just want to add that to the concert band thing. You know, we do have concert bands. I don't think I know of one high school in New Orleans that does not have one. You know, we just don't go. We don't go to LMEA. You know, and like I said, I'm gonna say it again. That's supposed to be standards. No, that's somebody else's standards. Who does? They don't march 8 Mardi Gras parades. They don't even do football season the way we do it. You know, they only have 4 songs and some school songs. You know, we doing field shows and all that. So again, that was just my take on the concert band. Other than that, what's going on with you guys, man?
Well, somebody told me
Let me pose this question right quick, Johnny. Somebody said if a kid goes and plays a marching band piece for his audition, is it the kid or the director's fault?
Let me say this before Mr. Rollins answer that, because let me say something before that, because and this is my take, but you set yourself up. These band directors set you up for success, to go audition, to go do whatever you want to do in the next part of life. It's up to you if you listen to them and go do what you're supposed to do. Mr. Rollins said, and I'm gonna use Mr. Rollins because he's my band director. All right, look, Mr. Rollins is my band director. He gave me all the tools and knowledge to be successful in auditioning, but did not once tell me to go and play what song and which style. I went on my own and played, right? So if you go up there and you play vice versa for audition, shame on you.
Well, let me vouch. Let me vouch for Lo then. When we were at Kennedy, when I was at Kennedy, my 1 year at Kennedy that Lo was the band director, a bunch of cats went to Lo and was like, "Yo, get me ready, get me ready." Lo got them dudes and young ladies so ready, man. Not one person auditioned for a school and they didn't get in. So to that question, the student a lot of times has to be self motivated. Most times when a person seeks knowledge, it's given. I cannot imagine a student going to any of these gentlemen that we've had on the night and them not getting some knowledge, but they have to seek it. They have to seek it. So that was kind of unfair.
I mean, do band directors not say, "Look, I got a kid that I don't want you to audition because you're not about to fucking embarrass me." Period. If I'm a band director, I'm letting them know, like, the kid, he can play his horn, but he ain't that good, and I don't want him to embarrass me or himself. So I think the band director got the key to say stop that shit before it happens.
Let's ask some questions to them. I'm gonna ask them the first question. Let's move on.
Can we first off, can we get the musical resumes, please?
Yeah,
let's really need them. Do we need
Yes, we need that. We need that.
Go ahead, fellas. We don't need them, but go ahead, fellas. For the people, for the one person that might not know y'all out there.
Go ahead, Lo. You start.
Go ahead, Lo, because you ain't saying nothing all day.
You got a whole helmet on.
Like
you recording. You're down.
We can't hear you on mute, Lo. Unmute.
We can't hear you.
That's the helicopter.
Lo, we can't hear you.
No, you might
hear me.
No, you might.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You can hear me.
All right.
All right.
We got you.
What you need a resume? Well, you know, Rawlins, with the Edison, where we had a marching band and a concert band under Joe Mills, who just passed away. Herman Jones at Charles J. Colton, you already know about him. Dr. Walter Harris, Kennedy High School. Of course, Dr. Greggs at Southern University, along with Cardell Knight and Lawrence Jackson. And, you know, my big brother right here, big influence. So I've done a whole lot of things around the city. I don't brag about it. You know, once people find out, oh, damn, he wrote that. Yeah. You know, I don't brag about it. A lot of things I've done. I've actually, you know, Will could tell you, you know, pretty much founded the All-Star Band, the one that everybody love. And, you know, I want to really have if y'all can have another segment on All-Star Band, we can tell you how it really started, you know, it's a long story. So a lot of things, man. I was section leader everywhere I was, man. You know, I played tenor drum up to the 9th grade at Coke. You know, I was section leader over the whole drum section because I was one of the best counters and readers in the band. That's why he put me on French horn. You know, second year at Kennedy, I was section leader, and my senior year I was section leader. And y'all talking about the Superintendent Music Awards. My junior and senior year as section leader, we won section of the year of all these parish schools, all these parish schools, and it's documented. So at Southern, section leader my sophomore year, we had 5 rips in the band. I was a part of one of the best bands I think I've ever been a part of in high school. And I hate to say it, it wasn't, I'm sorry to say it wasn't an all-star band in New Orleans because it was a lot of, fighting against putting that together. But it was LLI in 05 with Mr. Knight. That was one of the best programs I've ever been a part of, because it was no resistance. Everybody was on the same page. I was actually one of the kids, one of the students at Southern University that went to the first annual HBCU Symphonic Band. I played French horn along with Carl Collins from Southern University. Just 2 of us that went. Helped start the roots of music. The first band director actually started the program at down in 32, which wound up being nice when Mr. Michael Johnson took over. But a lot of things, man. Then I inherited a band at 35 that was, when I walked in the door 20 days before Mardi Gras 2013, they only had 35 kids in there. And it was, we built it up to about 85 at the most. Then the number game hit. Enrollment went down to 360, 370, and that's where I am now. And I'm pleased to say, up until this pandemic, we have 45 new freshmen that signed up for band this year, and that's a beautiful thing. So 75 to 80% of my band is going to be freshmen if we ever get in the building. Oh, it will.
All right, now. That's good, little man. To hear you, Lauren, to hear you talk about all that, man, that's crazy, bro. Well, I am Wilbur Rollins Jr. I'm the product of my father, who was Wilbur Rollins Sr. And like Lauren said, I've been the section leader everywhere I went. And I must admit, Lawrence and I, we have kind of like a leg up because our father, who was Wilbur Rollins Sr., he played drums for Irma Thomas, Ray Charles. His standards were way above average standards. And in order to live in a home with this guy, your standards had to be up there with his, you just couldn't survive in there with him, his work ethic. I watched my father one day, man. This dude went to work one day and some kind of way his hand got caught up in the coffee grinder and he grind off the 2 tips of his fingers down to the knuckle. And that was like a Wednesday, right? And this happened about 12 o'clock. He came home about 5 o'clock from the hospital. They had to cut the 2 tips all the way off, stitch him up, put band-aids and bandages on it. And as soon as he walked through the door, he went and took a shower and he got dressed to go and perform with Irma Thomas because every night they had a gig on the steamboat, the president. Yeah. So, and he had to be there for 9 o'clock because the boat sailed for 10:30. And my mom was saying, Wilbur, what are you doing? Your fingers just got cut off. My father sat Lawrence and I down and he said, listen, you are responsible. When you give your word and you are the person that is responsible for doing something, then you have to do that. There is no one else who can play drums. We can't cancel the gig on the riverboat president. All these hundreds of thousands of people who paid their money, Irma Thomas depended on me. So I have to go and perform the gig. When I come back, then I'll attend to my fingers. That itself is a testament to who Lawrence and I was raised by. So again, getting back to me, I'm Wilbur Rollins Jr. I am a graduate of Thomas Alva Edison, Charles J. Colton, Mr. Herman Jones, Joe Mills, the same as Lawrence. So we had the same upbringing. I'm 2 years older than Lawrence. So I kind of think that Lawrence kind of followed in my footsteps, maybe because, like I said, my father, I was responsible for Lawrence. So everywhere I went, he had to go. I am now the current band director. Well, when I graduated from Southern University in 95, I started working at Sarah T. Reed. That was a challenge, but it came out to be something very, very nice. One of my, and I'll say this publicly right now, one of my favorite bands, one of the best bands I've ever had in my career is Sarah T. Reed, 1997. When I tell you, man, that guy at Fantasy Williams was producing at least 45 quality musicians. And then I'm there teaching. So we just had we had 95% participation in summer band for a whole 2.5 months. So when school started, we had about 30 songs ready, So Sarah T. Reed, then I taught at George Washington Carver, which probably was one of my favorite jobs, working in the night ward where I'm from, And then Katrina hit, and I went to Beaumont Central, worked with Carl Collins, where we won 7 Battle of the Bands. They called it it was a sweep. We beat, I think it was Willow Ridge. Willow Ridge had never lost a battle since 1989. in 2005, Carl and I and Gordon, we had a chance to taste a little bit of that victory. And then after that, it came back to Old Perry Walker, Miss Mary Laurie. Walker turned into Landry Walker. I teach overseas in Paris, France. There's a school named Maestro Wilbur Rollins. Started teaching kids in Paris, France. Well, the school system in France, they never had instrumental music education before. So about 5 years ago, we went there on a trip for exposure for the children. And lo and behold, we started one school. And now there's 26 schools in Paris, France that have viable music programs. We started with the brass band, and then we went to a pep band. And when I go back in September, I'm about to start the concert and the concert band and the jazz ensemble. So we've got a couple more years to go to get those programs complete, but that's who Wilbur Rollins is, guys.
The GOAT.
Man, y'all got some hellfire band practice. Band facts. Sheesh.
Talk about band,
Hey, that's my band right.
Both them Kennedy grads, though. They Kennedy grads. Never forget
man,
it.
we know they went to the kick. We know, man. We know.
I never knew you had a school in France named after you. I never knew that. I know you was.
Yeah, man, there's a school that's got man, I'm going to have to take a picture of it. But again, like Lawrence said, it's kind of hard to have in our society and I'm proud of myself, so I sit back and look, and I'm the one who's satisfied with me. I don't need anybody else to pat me on the back, because sometimes I notice that when you say something to people, then they kind of think that you're being braggadocious, and I don't want that at all, but I am very proud of the fact that when I look up at that front of that school and it says Maestro Rollins, and there's a silhouette of a band director up like this, and I know that because in Paris, people think that they're very rich. That's not the case. These people are poorer than you could ever imagine. Now, in the district where there are Louis Vuitton and Gucci, that's about a 5-block radius. Everything other than that, man, there's 2 schools I teach at, they still have clay floors. That may sound funny to you. The floors are still clay, so to have children who can't afford to pay for music lessons, not to mention to give a kid the opportunity to learn to play a musical instrument, to satisfy his inner being, to satisfy his soul. I don't care what none of y'all say. Everybody on here, when you got into the band, your soul was satisfied. People don't even understand. When you learn to play a musical instrument, that's why your band director could tell you, if your teacher come to me and tell me, and you don't do what you're supposed to do, you can't come to practice. Man, you might as well shoot me and kill me. Because why? It's a scientific fact about this. At Vandercook, I performed a study for 2 weeks with drug addicts. And what happened was I gave each one of them an instrument. So they were in the dormitory room. Okay, I had flutes, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, one of each instrument, not a percussion. All right. And out of all of the instruments, let's see, it was 12 of them, 10 of them gave up the drugs for the instrument. Because when you play a musical instrument, it sends a vibration through your body, which excretes the endorphins from the brain, which is the same chemical that the drug does. A drug addict don't want to be a drug addict. That lady don't be walking around there naked, selling herself. Everybody looking at you. That man don't want his children and grandchildren looking at him like that. He just can't.
Listen, Burrell.
Yeah. So if you give a person an instrument, he becomes chemically addicted to it. Chemically and physically addicted. Think about it. When I was in the band, man, the band teacher used to say, if you do this, come up here, bend over, I'm gonna hit you 3 times with this paddle. Man, ain't nobody gonna let nobody. They got killers out there. I remember I talked to a dude from Mr. Bremer's band. They said this guy was a stone killer. I ain't gonna mention no name. Mr. Bremer used to call him up to the front and whoop his ass. And then he go back to the St. Thomas and nigga better not tell him nothing. But Mr. Bremer, the band teacher who controls the what? He controls the instrument. Yeah. He controls the instrument. So now, it's just when you play an instrument, you're addicted to it, and that's why I feel sorry for a lot of people who graduate from high school and even college, and they don't have an instrument to continue to practice and play. You technically have a hole in your heart. You have to get back on those instruments, guys. because you're addicted to it. So either you're gonna play the instrument, or you're gonna pick up a bottle, or you're gonna smoke some herb. You're gonna do something that's gonna give you the same satisfaction. So that's how it is, Doctor.
Here go my first question for y'all too, man. I ain't gonna lie, that kind of touched me with you. Like I ain't know that about you. What is y'all opinion on the bands today versus the bands before Katrina? What are y'all opinions on that? Let's start with Will, because Will did a lot of, Will talk.
I already told you what my opinion was the last time I was on, and it's the feeder schools, man. I mean, people don't realize the importance of good feeder schools, feeding high schools. I started in elementary school. A lot of cats back in the early 80s, whatever, we started elementary school, at least 7th grade and junior high. And by the time we were able to go to high school, we were prepared to deal with, most of the stuff that was given to us. I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to ruffle the feathers. I don't want anybody, especially from St. Aug, to feel, disrespected. I seen a post when they were talking about Black Lives Matter and all that. Somebody said, well, senior black students are St. Aug instead of public schools. That's bullshit, because 90% of the kids that went to St. Aug come from public schools. And I'm gonna say this right here, and I don't want to ruffle no feathers. Would the great Edward Hampton been that great if he didn't have them public schools feeding him, like the Donald Richardsons and the Walter Harris and the Lloyd Harrises and all of them from the 60s and 70s, feeding him quality musicians already? Would he have been? I'm just asking. That's the point. That is why great high school programs are successful. Take Carr for existence. Carr was around 60, 70 people for the longest until Alex Hawk came into play. And I'm being honest with you. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, they're one of the best, if not the best bands, marching bands in the city. And that's major respect. They were able to get what they were supposed to get. And that's how it was done.
And they also
that's how it's done. Will, he get kids from out of Algiers as well, plus other places, especially Renew. He try to send all his kids to Will. I get it. I'm not pissed off at that. That's where he wants his kids to go, and it's helping. It's cool. Feeder schools are very, very important. That's what they had back then. They're getting them now, but the quality of musicians is not the same because they're not in the band, they're not in the instrumental music classes like they were back then. They had the band rehearsal in band class. And that's a problem. And that's the difference I see. And if they had it like it was back then, of course, right now we'd be so much better than pre-Katrina. I'm telling you now. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
Can I ask you before I go to Will?
Yeah.
I think we have middle schools, but I think the way everything is structured is fucked up.
It is. I've said that for the longest. It is.
Because like Alice Hawk, we know those kids going, like the way that system is set up, they going to Carr. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have
They're going to Carr and Walker.
They're going to Carr first.
They're going to Carr
because Algiers, Inspire Nola to Inspire Nola. That's how it goes. Collegiate to collegiate, KIP to KIP. That's how most of it goes.
But collegiate don't have middle school, so what you're saying is we need better structure, basically.
We need better, because
get rid of the one app, basically.
Well, you won't be able to get rid of the one app, So it is what it is with that, And y'all say something once before about just get it done, I'm cool with that now. I'm cool with doing the best I could do what I have. It's fucked up, it's messed up. I'm sorry, but you got to do it. You want a job, you have to do it. But I'm gonna continue to preach my message that it is effed up.
But
go ahead, Will.
All right, you ready for this one, guys? I hope this don't take y'all off by surprise. You ready? First of all, I'm saying this, man. You have to give a warm round of applause and accolations to all of the band directors right now in the city of New Orleans. First of all, listen to your question. You're comparing bands from before Katrina. I was a band director at Carver before Katrina. If you come in my band practice late 1 minute, I'm gonna tear your ass out the fucking frame. You hear me? Your ass, listen, if you step in there 1 minute late, I'm gonna tear your ass out. You're gonna come up to the front of that room and grab that chair, and I'm going to bust your ass like your parents should have. Now that's just you coming to practice late. Anything you do, I'm tearing your ass out the frame. Your classwork, don't come here tomorrow not knowing your part. Darrell, you understand me, Darrell? What's up, D? Listen, so what I'm saying is you're trying to compare now to standards of old. First of all, let's say, like Lauren said about St. Aug, man, I really feel sorry that they would even fire Mr. Eddie or let Eddie Williams go to get somebody else, because you trying to make St. Aug like it was before. First of all, your St. Augustine High School is never, ever, ever going to be St. Aug of old. You don't have the general. You don't have when they took the paddle out, when that happened, I guess, me as a band director for the rival band, because I want to be number one. I want to be the best. And when I came out of college, my goal was to get at St. Aug every time I see him. It took me years and years and years, and now I'm enjoying a little bit of success with that. But you will never ever get St. Augustine's band the way it was, because your conditions aren't the same. My conditions right now, and Lad Darrell come in the band room about a year ago and said, "Mr. Rollins, you're getting soft. You need to come into practice late. If you come late, what I'm gonna do to you? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna what? I'm gonna put you out and tell you no go. And now you're gonna go where? You're gonna go out into the streets. You're gonna go to the street. You're gonna go hang on the corner down there by the store where they're smoking weed and shooting each other up, or they going trying to have sex in abandoned houses. Now you come up with a baby, So it would be cool. It would be better for me to have the child to come into the band hall and then to send him on the street. So I'm just saying, you guys, when we try to compare bands from before Katrina to now, that's apples and oranges. You can't, you won't be able to do that. It's just not a fair assessment. The standards are too high. So now when you talk about how do I feel about bands now, I think every band director in the city of New Orleans who put together one of those bands on the street, especially what I saw for Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras was this was the best Mardi Gras band-wise I've seen in a very long time. Even like with you, Van Buren. Van Buren, when you went over to the Abe, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, for the last about 10, 15 years, you said Everson to me. I'm like, man,
60 years. 60 years.
I agree.
I got bigger fish to fry. And now I'm entering into conversations with people about, and you heard what Everson say they gonna do, y'all. Now I understand. I knew it was a ploy to get some attention. I knew that, but I gotta give Van Buren, Chalupa, I gotta give Asia Muhammad, because I know people try to judge all these band directors. Lonzie Jackson, these guys, Trey Vonado at West Jeff. I'm talking about Fest over there, man. Dude, I watched Fest be the postman. Fest, he want to be a band director.
Barrel Coleman, Will.
Darryl Coleman, one of my phone. I mean, I don't want to leave anybody's names out. I'm talking about Lurch and all these boys, Julius, all these cats who aspire to be band directors. These guys are working in conditions that you would not even understand. First of all, they waking up in the morning, going to class, and they got 15, 20 people in the class and 2 of them in the band. So really, you technically babysitting all day, you providing busy work. And then after school, they give you an hour and a half to create a band. And these guys have created what I think to be one of the best. And then not to admit that boy with that man at Booker T, that boy Michael Joe, who left away from Alice Hall.
Yeah.
Man, it's a whole bunch of them, man. If I forgot anybody's name, Camooch, Eddie, I think Eddie did a wonderful job with St. Augustine.
John Eric.
Yeah, man. And then Ann Felix, all them young boys coming out of college, man, y'all better watch out, man. Them guys gonna be off the chain. My dude, man, listen, when I say, but these guys have put together bands that you wouldn't even, man, if you put anybody else from out of town in one of these situations, they'll quit. They'll quit, man. They'll quit. I'm telling you, man, it's you don't understand, dude. I'm talking about I'm Maestro Rollins, so they're gonna treat me right. Man, I teach 14 children that are in the band every day. My situation is this, and people think that Landry Walker gets a lot of students every year. That doesn't happen. For the last 4 years.
Hold up. You just said you got 78 students. What you talking about?
That's this year. That's what you got to deal with this year. We talk about that later. For the last 4 years, you got to think about it. Landry Walker has been an F school. If I'm a parent, I don't give a damn how good your fucking band is. I don't care who you I don't care about that nigga. He got his. I'm not sending my child to no F school. So which means when school starts, I got to go around the school and not trick kids, but I have to go around and sell my program. I'm providing, first of all, if you launch in my program, it's guaranteed you going to college on a full 4-year scholarship. That's a guarantee. Every kid who's graduated from me in the last 10, 15 years, all of them have had the opportunity to go to college on scholarship. So I'm gonna teach you how to play because I'm not gonna sit in the band with 140 of y'all and teach Lawrence his part and teach Berger his part, teach Matt his part. No, I'm gonna take 2 weeks and teach all y'all how to play. And then now all we gotta do is pass music out and have fun reading the music, you know? Yep. So that's the difference. But man, them guys need to be applauded, man. That girl Asia Muhammad over there, you know that's an A+ school. Mm-hmm. You think they gonna let her have? She need the band for a couple of minutes? No, man, not at all. These kids are taking AP courses. These kids are that girl. She don't even have a band room right now.
She don't.
Warren Easton.
Wow.
In the auditorium, man. Like everybody else use the auditorium 2, 3, 4 times a day. And if y'all don't give it up to Asia Muhammad, that boy Lonzie Jackson, old man, Lonzie has been a student in the game. I watched Lonzie come in all the way back, man, when I was at Carver. He used to walk around with a video camera all the time. I say, why you doing that? Because I'm going to take it home and I'm going to analyze everything. I'm going to take what I want and I'm going to throw away the rest. And now we looking at Lonzie Jackson. This dude is a master in his field. He produces some of the highest quality musicians out there. You got to think about what we talking about, man. Some of these guys that come from these people, man, these guys are bona fide players. Now, it might not be 60, 70 of them, but our bands are not that big. You know, this year, Landry Walker's a C+ school. So now more parents are saying, okay, I'll let you go there. You know, that's why it's going to be 79 now, Johnny. 79, you know. And I think they got 1 or 2 little boys out there in the East that play baritone. They say they want to come over there and enjoy a little bit of success on another level. Call all your people and reassure them that everything is going to be all right, you know, because this is going to be a hell of a season coming up here, baby. Look, we ain't going to get no more videos like before. I know we're not going to do that anymore.
Oh, I'll put it down.
Don't do that.
I don't care. Don't do that. I ain't no nigga. You know I
love all that stuff, man. All that stuff. Really, guess what? When you did that, man, that excited my band. You helped me to get my band together. Because if you think about it, this year's band, Landry Walker, was a pretty decent band. And I think it was because of what you did. You know, these kids, they're mental. You know, they're more mental than we are. I'm intrinsically motivated. I'm motivated from the inside. These kids are extrinsically motivated.
Let me tell you something, Will. I felt you was getting bored.
Yeah.
I had to make some excitement to you. I mean, I don't know what it was. Let me tell you this, bro. Like real stuff. Low be thinking I be playing when I see this. When I came on high school band, like I wanted to get Keith, Low, and Will. Mm-hmm. I got 2 of y'all.
Kennedy. Yeah, right.
Don't play with the kid, Johnny.
What's 2 you got?
Yeah, what 2 you got? And when did you get them?
I got the 2. That's 3.
When did you get 3-5? When the numbers went down? You got 3-5 when numbers went down? Because it didn't happen before that. What happened? What happened with the battle? What happened with the battle with you, myself, and Duncan and West Jeff when Barrett was the band director? What happened to that gym? What happened to that gym? Play that clip. What happened
to Xavier?
What happened to Xavier? Come on, man. Sad things been happening.
From the breakdown.
Look.
That fucking Burger messing you.
Yeah, you're right, Burger.
Real stuff. Like people be thinking I really hate Kennedy, bro. Like if you look at Nelson,
you do. You do.
Come on, Johnny.
And you should, because we handed y'all so many L's.
Johnny acting like some of the white folks with Black Lives Matter right now.
I'm about to tell you.
You just saying Black Lives Matter because you don't want your ass whipped. That's what it is.
You got both of them on here right now. You got time to talk your shit.
No, Burger, let me say this.
KC matters.
No, if you go look at when I was at
that's battle before Katrina.
Nelson played a lot of Kennedy.
Off your theater.
You feel what I'm saying?
Off him theater.
I really messed up against those kids. Carver was the band I emulated when Will was there.
So now you're gonna say it. You ain't want to say it before, but now you're saying it.
I've been told Will that. Will, did I told you that?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I love that cover. You know why I like that cover band? It had its own identity.
They did. They did.
Own identity. They had their own style of music. They didn't play nothing nobody else played. If you look at Abe don't play a lot of stuff nobody else played. Like I really studied Carver. Like Carver was one of the best bands I ever saw in the city of New Orleans. And I ain't trying to post Will because I'm still gonna bust his ass.
Yeah, Johnny, I don't like you right now.
That's what.
That shit. Now you got Willie Lowe here. It's hallmark.
Nah, man, go ahead with that, bro.
I don't like that.
Will ran for me. I still say Will ran for me this year, but I mean it is what it is.
Listen, I saved you, boy. I saved
Burger, you ain't want none of that.
I saved you.
I mean, Johnny.
You saw what I did, call, huh?
What you did, call Will? Talk about, speak on it.
He come around.
Hey, look, I saw what you did. With the people in Whitehaven. I saw that.
Yeah, all of them.
I saw that massacre.
It got music.
Huh?
It got music. It cook.
Man, stop it, man. The second song y'all played at that little battle, man, I just walked away. I said, you know what?
The baritone messed up in the beginning. I'll give you.
Yeah, see, these are the qualities in which does not exist in excellent bands.
Right.
Mistakes. The mistakes. And listen, listen, I'm gonna say this to you. It is not on the children. It's on the director. You have to practice the kid. You listen. See, in Landry Walker band room, I got speakers in the band room, right? I put on football games like in the Superdome where it's so loud. Because see, what happened is the child is in an unfamiliar environment. So when I'm in the band room and I got the speakers playing with the noise from the football game, that means that they can't hear my voice. So because they can't hear my voice, they become accustomed to what? Looking at me. See, most of the times in those battles, they get so excited, they're not even looking at the band director. Guess who they're looking at? The other baritone player across the way. They waving their fucking horns. And the band director's talking about play.
I don't want to hear that the whole season. And
Situational coaching.
Hold up.
Situational coaching.
Hold up. And Chalupa, I ain't must tell you nothing. Why you didn't tell Will nothing? Will was just say bust your ass. I ain't just say nothing.
Chalupa said ask Will what happened at non-top. Chalupa said ask Will what happened at non-top.
Asking why Chalupa put Abe in that. I ain't saying nothing to him.
At non-top, I couldn't have a round two at non-top because he was in the back and short. You know, see they march in the back of the parade. Round about 4 or 5, you know, but the front of the parade where I'm at, you know, they only had Whitehaven up there.
Hey man, let me say this, man. I haven't.
I don't want nobody to think I'm serious, bro. When I tell you, bro, I just realized and know this. I could talk this trash now because I got a video that shows that I was the better band at that moment. But I do realize and know if you was to catch them people at a different time, you know, because they had, man, Carl had everything you could imagine. Boy had 14 tubas. He's got a pre-Katrina sized band. I just think that they marched the day before, and then rushing to get to the parade.
No,
yeah, I gotta say,
brother, they give you 14 tubas. What you gonna do with them?
Give me what? 14 tubas?
14 tubas. What you gonna do with them?
If you give me 14 tubas, I'm lining the fucking tubas up where the trumpet's supposed to be. Hey, check my band.
He ain't lying.
I remember coming up Canal Street with the tubas in front of the band.
Exactly. We did that.
I'm talking about front did that. You better check my band. I would write music where the tubas have the fucking solo line.
Hold up.
We marched in front. We marched in front of the band, turning on Canal Street. He ain't lying.
What that was?
Wow, I thought that was a joke. You for real?
Yeah, we did that.
Listen, I had tuba section that come up, turn from by Rubenstein Brothers, and come up the street. They were playing "Sweet Escape." What that was? What the name of that? I decided.
I decided. We play I decided. Turn on Canal.
You heard the bass line? I decided.
Yeah.
Man, them boy come up the street. I'm talking about horns swinging, big old pretty brand new, chrome fucking tubas.
Proud.
For them boy was in the front of the van. When I tell you that shit was a pretty sight, everybody was looking like I had never seen anything like this before. I'm talking about band heads appreciated it. I think as band directors, we have to realize this too. There are no rules in band. Just because Edwin Hampton marched his band in this formation, that don't make it the rules. The thing is, a parade band is supposed to be heard minimally a half a block off the street. You know, once your band get to me in front of me, then I don't want to hear that no more. Because all I'm gonna hear is wah, 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 dee, 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 do. No, I won't hear the whole band coming to me. So that's why I like to judge a band from a half a block up the street. So if you got tubas that's singing a tuba line and it's beautiful, and it's something that people have never seen before, that's what makes things exciting. You know what I mean? We got to be able to. There are no rules in bands. That's all I'm saying to you. I'll do anything. I'll give the tubas the solo line. Period.
Hey,
you know, yeah.
Hold on. Hey, Robin, hold on. Robin, could you put Ja? Could you put Ja comment on that on him, Mr. Lou Rollins? I want you to clear this up right quick.
Who is that?
All right. I read the comment, and it was a situation where Tennille, crazy ass Tennille, want to battle high school bands, but at that point, I suckered him in to coming to 35, and he spent his own money on transportation just so I can give his band a clinic so they can hear me. Because in any other way he wasn't gonna let his band hear me so I can recruit. Period. He wasn't sending his kids to me. So when they got off the bus, greeted them like they were, hey man, how y'all doing? This is it, and took them on a tour around the building before I brought them in the band room and let them look at all those brand new instruments I just purchased, and then set them down and let them hear the band. It wasn't a battle of the band. I'm not gonna battle him like that. I'm not. There he go, and there go Kanye. I don't hold back. I'm gonna tell you why I hold back some what I do. I hate the way Mellophone. That's another story. Another story. I hate that high ass shit that we playing now. Mellophone, and I get this from Dr. Walter Harris.
Preach, Lo. Preach on it.
Because a mellophone was meant to be played a certain way. When you playing anything over a C and a D and an E, man, that shit's so flat, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's flat. You can't push the valves in no more. So holding back, I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I really don't know what he's talking about, holding back, but I have certain standards. And I don't want my band to sound like everybody else. I don't care if I have 20 or 100. I know the sound I have, and everybody in here know from way back in 95 when I really, start working with Kennedy as assistant band director, which I am responsible for the sound halfway from 95 all the way till I left in 01, the sound. And I carry the same sound wherever I went, even Roots. So I don't worry about how everybody else sounds. That's holding back. I'm not trying to sound like them bands. I'm not trying to sound like them bands. I got my foundation from a certain place, and it was enhanced at Southern University. And I was on the phone with Kendrick Taylor, and I'm gonna be honest with you. He told me, he said, "Man, you're one of the only ones I know that can get that sound. Even though you're going through some things now, but you get that Southern sound, whatever. It is like that's all I know, Ken. That's all I know. So I'm not gonna go and try to sound like everybody else. I'm not gonna try to sound like the Faux Share Days, because that's what we are now. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's fucked up. And I no disrespect to Faux, but that's what it is. And I'm sorry. And I'm trying not to get that. I have to do it sometime on rap tunes just to please the kids, and it hurts me to my heart. Because I play that for them. And if you know anything, hold up, nigga. If you know anything about history of Southern University, they talk about F-phone players, they're gonna name two people. They're gonna name Lawrence Rawlins was Mr. Frenchon and Ronald Berrier, Mr. Mellophone, and both of us had the same instructors from elementary, junior high, and high school and college.
Kennedy, yeah, you better speak on it.
I'm being honest with you. So, like Johnny, the way your band is, it's cool for you. I don't dig it that much because it's one-sided. It's baritone heavy, and that's it. And everybody said I'm not. The guy told you that yesterday on the line, and I'm just being honest with you. Now I'm gonna say this now, and I ain't gonna brag, but just like Barrow said, give me 100 give me 100 band members, and watch what happens.
All I'm gonna say is like for the Abe and 35 game, I think it was like a demolishment.
But it wasn't no demolish. First of all, you got your ass bus coming to the gate. You forgot about that, right?
Hold on, let me say it.
Forgot about that, right?
I ain't gonna
coming
lie.
to the gate, you got stuck. You was like a deer in the headlights. You got stuck for 2 minutes. You didn't know what you was gonna do.
Hey, no, that was some gangster shit.
Yeah, so I had to do that because I knew it was gonna happen in the stands. I know in the stands I can't compete with that sound. I know that. So again, Will said this is situational coaching. Situational coaching. You got to put your kids. You got to give them that practice on how you gonna coach. Football coaches do it all the time. 2-minute drills, hurry up offense, this and that, this and that. You got to do that. I can't compete when I got 35 band members and you got 80. Ain't nowhere in the world. I can't compete with Carl trying to play rap tunes against Carl. Hell no. I got to try to come out with some regular tunes and force him to do what? Play regular tunes back, and now we can see what's going on.
He ain't gonna do that.
Who? Oh yeah, he done. Yeah, you got to make him do it. It's coaching. You have to make him do it. It's coaching. It is real. It's coaching. You're gonna play like you said too that West Haven, whatever the name, Whitehaven played. Come go with me, and Carl come back with something different, and you was disappointed. That's situational coaching. You don't. If you feel that way, okay, maybe you should have come back with a regular tool, technical to combat that.
Let me say this right quick, Lou, because a lot of people. Let me say this. I see one of your assistants kind of comment. Let me tell you something. Then we go on the field for y'all. We went on the field for y'all thing, right? For y'all game, right?
Uh-huh.
We went on the field. What people don't know is this. We only have 2 hours to practice. So I have to cut songs in order to go on the field.
Yeah, you're right on that, bro.
Like, so when you say, you might say,
everybody.
Like if you might say I might sit one or two quarters. Okay, but I went on the field. Like I have to do that because my song list, I'll be real. If I go to the game with 15 songs versus 30 songs, is because I probably had to spend like that 15 songs extra to go on the field. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. So let me throw that out there. You know what I'm saying?
So guess what? What time you get out of school, Johnny?
My band practice don't start till 4:30.
And I will start at 4:30, and we got to be done by 6. So I'll get it. I understand exactly what you're talking about. I don't know where the statement came from. That wasn't nowhere without statement what I was saying, but I get it. Everybody will just mention the same thing. Yeah. All the people. Let me tell you who got it good right now. John F. Kennedy have it great right now because they get out of school at 2:30. I think
they do.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say that. Yeah, but in this defense too, look, see that situation.
No field of practice on none of that.
You don't have a place to practice on the field. That big credit at school.
Hey, hold on.
Practice the band.
Dog, get your assistant, dog. For I tell it, it's no excuse. If you want to make excuses, why 35 sound like they sounding? Don't make me go off.
Hold on, Johnny. What you mean 35 sound like they sound? That's not on him. That's on me. What you mean,
Johnny? Why you take the bait?
Don't stop. Don't worry about it, Burger. Tell me.
You take the bait, bro.
Tell me what 35 sound like.
Let's go there. Fuck, that's all I'm saying.
Abe sound like baritones.
No, it don't.
That's it.
Y'all be saying that they don't do, dog.
That's it. Everybody say that, Johnny. Everybody say that.
What a video.
Everybody's saying it, Johnny.
Get a video, man. What's up?
Maybe change my clip of the week to 35. Or maybe change my clip of the week to 35.
But guess what? I can go do the same thing. But guess what? I can go get a clip of every band in the city, in the history of the fucking world, put a bad clip up on them. Everybody.
Listen, I want to change the subject.
You ready for this, Burger?
Damien and Johnny do this.
Burger, hold up,
I'm changing the subject. I'm not letting Damien and Johnny do this to me.
No, they're not. Guess what? Especially if keep recording.
Hey, listen, man. Let me say something, man. I ain't said nothing. I ain't said nothing really since y'all been on, man. I could just listen to you brothers talk all day.
D. Carter, right? You sat down for 3 goddamn quarters that game, no, Johnny.
I went on the field and we still had songs. Like, what you talking about? Y'all didn't even go down.
We played the whole first half, and you set your ass down and saved them songs.
Y'all didn't go on the field, Lo. Y'all lost the battle because y'all didn't go on the field.
I went on the field for 1 game, and that was homecoming because that's all I could do.
You ain't going. so it don't matter. You old school.
It does matter.
Chill out,
it does matter.
Hey, look, hey Johnny.
No. It's just like him going to LME.
Y'all arguing right now over the same thing you said before. Both of y'all don't have the time to prepare to get what's called the standards. So you can't get a band with 30 songs and a field show. Because you just said both of y'all start at 4:30, in at 6 o'clock.
Well, we heard you. Well, guess what, Johnny? That's just like everybody going to
fucking 5:15.
You will. That's just like everybody going to LMEA just to go and get fours.
Let me see.
Go on the field. Was your field show that great to go on the field? Hell no.
Tell you something. You said something that made a lot of sense. Keith went on the field for the Ava Kennedy game, and they had some. So it don't matter. You ain't had to go on the field.
Man, that's like going to LMEA just to go to get fours.
Can I change the subject?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Wait, I was saying something. Please, can I finish? Please.
I was getting ready to change it to.
Nah, man. Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hey, man, listen. Real talk, man. I could listen to you. I ain't had many questions because I could listen to y'all talk history, past, present, and the future all day, man. I salute y'all and every other band director, man. I think it's nuts and I'll lump all of y'all together for the purpose of what I'm about to say, but I think it's nuts when people come and have adverse opinions about band directors, period. Like after when we started this show, it was supposed to be old heads against new heads. But I done came full circle on this, man, after hearing all of the adversity y'all up against. I think y'all ain't no cocky. I think y'all deserve to celebrate every victory, big or small, y'all get, man. Like it pains me these days to see guys and ladies give adverse opinions to you guys about anything because y'all up against so much, man. So, hey, man, salute to y'all and blessings y'all way, man. Please keep fighting a good fight, man. I really appreciate all y'all bring to the table. Band definitely saved my life. And band is the reason my kids go to college, high school band. So I appreciate everything you brothers do, man. Band feeds my family. If it wasn't for Dr. Harris and Lawrence Rollins and Keith Thomas and Sean Ruffin, I have saw the world. I can attest to what's going on in Paris. Will, I didn't saw the world because of marching band in high school. I didn't go no further. I have seen the world. I can attest to Paris being the ghetto. Like Paris is a very dangerous place. But it's all due to marching bands. So, hey, brothers, y'all, please, everybody, man, y'all keep inspiring. And man, if there's anything we can do, please let us know, man. Nothing but blessings and good vibes, y'all. Thank y'all so much, man.
And
I got one thing to say. They had that situation that happened at the Drives YMCA.
I'm here to turn the show back up.
Oh, we got to talk about that theft at YMCA.
I got something to say about that too.
That's a terrible situation. And we all need to wrap our arms around that brother over at that school and see what we can do to bring that back to where it used to be.
You ain't about to tell me that was too calculated. That was
and guess what? And they only took all the trumpets and the trombones. They left.
No, they took 56. They took 56 horns. They took 56 instruments.
They took all trumpets and trombones. They left the baritones and the mellophones and all the drums and tubas.
Oh, that was the fourth time. They took air conditioners, iPads, computers. That was the fourth time they got hit. Cameras? No cameras? Come on, man.
Hey, buddy.
I bet none of y'all better not buy them damn horns because they're going to be on their ass.
I wish I would have somebody selling them horns. I'm going to turn their ass in. I'm going to call
Unless it's like a mock or something like that.
I'm letting you know. Don't come around me. I know the principal, Miss Mann, and Miss Mann called me the morning it happened. And if I would suggest that, man, it'll be a wonderful thing in our city if some kind of way somebody or some group of people could help the people get their instruments back. Because you got to realize that when school start up, they don't do. You can't pawn them. You can't sell them to nobody. I don't know what to say. But before we get off this subject, the other subject, I want to say this. Another reason why bands this year at Mardi Gras season was such a success. It wasn't just because of the band directors. No,
competition.
When I tell you, band directors nowadays, they got some of the most qualified assistant band directors that you could imagine.
Yeah, shouts out.
I got Gregory Roberts. This dude was at Walker before I got to Walker. This dude come there every day after school. He got his own job. He worked overnight. Clifford Chandler, both of them work overnight at the convention center. They boys work 14 hours.
Yeah.
They in the band room before the children get in there. Dwayne Trotter, I got Lurch working with me. And then, but so that's just me. You know, think about all the other band like Chalupa. He got some of these guys that graduated from college and from Jackson State and whatever. So even Johnny, you got somebody working with you. You got people with you. Mike got my whole former fucking student body working with him at Booker T. Washington. They got off the bus. I looked like a fucking Opera Walker, Landry Walker class reunion. All of them got on black and red. I said, God damn, what you doing? He said, you know what? I needed to go find me some people who know what they're doing. And I applaud him for that. Because the president could be the stupidest motherfucker in the world. As long as he got the right person writing the speeches, he got the right person taking it, he could be about to slap the shit out of baby. But if that cameraman get it the way as it looked like he about to cuddle that baby, they go, oh, look at the president about to cuddle that little baby. Just don't realize he about to slap the shit out of it. So you got to have the right people in the right places, you know? So, I mean, I say assistant band directors, they do a hell of a job, dude. A hell of a job. Asia got Mr. Ogg over there. She had
Eddie Thomas that went to Southern with Belafonte.
Yeah, all these guys, man. I mean, because the band director job is extremely hard now, you know what I mean? So
about one of your
Johnny,
Big Greg.
Johnny, I have Damon Carter with me, Johnny. And guess what? Guess what, though?
Guess what, bro? I don't think Damon a bad dude, dog.
He
not, man. This is crazy.
Listen to me.
Ignorant.
Will will tell you, I don't allow anybody around me, bro. Will tell you, I don't allow anybody around me. He is humble as humble pie can get. That's why I don't understand what's going on. Even with my other people, I got Vernon Lewis,
that's
who was
Trina's son. You know what's going on with him.
But he's not. But to come in that band when he's in that band room, he is a legit assistant band director, and he write music. He can write, and he listen.
No comment.
He listen. Yeah, you gonna talk about James. James is a good writer. Don't get me wrong, but he's a beast to you. But everybody don't like his shit either. You know what I mean, though, right? I'm not going shade. Check this out, John. I'm gonna make a valid point. Everybody didn't like Velvet Rope. Everybody didn't like Stay. The majority of them like him. But everybody don't like everything.
Everybody like Stay. I ain't never met nobody that like
got
Stay.
people.
I let you lie.
Listen, I was in Paris and the people asked me to play Velvet Rope.
Smiley told me you used to get on his goddamn nerves when you was writing that song. Smiley did say that. Smiley told me when you was writing that song, you used to get on his goddamn nerves writing that.
Hey, Lawrence, Velvet Rope, when I went to Paris, the kids, when we first made the pep band, they listened to the videos from the United States, right? Guess what the first goddamn song they want to play? We played Velvet Rope in Paris, boy. In 2018.
You sleep, Lou.
You sleep, man. What I'm saying is, Velvet Rope was written so perfectly. Elementary, middle, and high school bands can play it all at the same time, and all of them get the same thing out of it. Yeah, everybody. Nice.
Hey, Lo, who wrote Born to Be?
Andrew Baham.
Andrew Baham is a student. And I'm gonna tell you about that dude.
I ever heard Kennedy play.
Listen, that dude came to me and said, I got a song. He gave it to me. I looked at the score. You were required to have a score, even as a student. He wrote that sucker just like St. Aug would have it with, I hate no disrespect. The baritone, the trombones were playing the same thing. I said, no, the baritone is his own person, He came back 24 hours later. I looked at it, I said, good, let's go. And that was it. He is a musical genius.
Andrew is.
Ninth grade.
But you know what that means, right, Lo? That goes back to what you and Johnny was talking about. The guy that you said people think he an asshole or whatever. You have to realize that as band directors, we are not only responsible for teaching children,
right?
You want to know it or not, you training adults too. You know?
Yeah.
You want to be in that band room environment so bad, he's going to conform and do whatever he's supposed to do because he want to be a part of it, you know?
Since I got all these band directors on here watching, and these two brothers on here, who's gonna take Carver off that throne next year? Because Carver had the best band this year.
Well,
#1.
I mean, that's an opinion, man. In French, I love
it's
French
no
to
knock
death.
on nobody else. It's not.
Wait, Burger. Let me hear what they gotta say. Let me hear what they say.
I love comment because last time my comment went left. Go ahead.
Listen, French. I'm gonna tell you about two people, French and Lonzy Jackson. You always say Lonzy Jackson got the best sounding band out there. To me, I said it to you before. Lonzy Jackson sound is just like we practice before we go full blown, full steam ahead. If you notice that, good. Yeah. He can do that over there. French understood. He understands his band. He's not going to do more than what he's supposed to do with his band, and it caused them to. First of all, he took the discipline to a whole nother level with that band. He made sure they look alike, and I think that's what y'all looking at too. The sound wise, he has some nice sounds. I'm not going to say he was the best band out there because I still put Troy and Landry Walker 1A1, like that. And only because
yes, Lou, I can't agree with that.
I'm talking about all around. Man, I'm serious. This me talking.
Oh yeah. I felt like this was one of Will beginner bands.
And guess what?
What's crazy is
what
I heard from Perez season. I felt like he had a young band this year. So next year it's gonna get worse.
If you heard it for football season compared to Perez season was 100 times better.
Oh yeah,
he had to get the new kids accustomed. I was at practice.
Yeah, he got 46 for
I felt like you had a lot of youngins in the band. You said he had a lot of youngins in the band.
Now, Eric French coming to this year, if this pandemic is over, we better watch the fuck out. We better watch out because the foundation has been set. And I'm being honest. And then,
the plan is put into place.
And guess what the number one thing is? Just like Johnny. The number one thing, just like Johnny is at home. Eric French is at home. And nothing like taking care of home. Trust me.
Landry Walker, them first couple of years when they had 1,500 assistants. This man got a assistant for every section at Carver. It gotta be good.
All the bands doing that. Booker T doing it. All the bands doing it.
But look, Berger, all of those assistants, you got to realize this. All of those assistants, they were former band members. I want to go back and say this to you. I want to draw this plan out for you. And that's why I think people have to really sit back and understand the long game. Back in 98, 99, when I had the chance to meet Eric French and found out that this guy was playing a trumpet and he played, if it come on the radio or whatever, he could just pick the horn up and play it. So then now in the band room, we find out that, I say, well, what is this note? So I press it. He go to his horn and he do this. He said, that's a G concert. So long story short, we find out in 98, 99 that this dude has perfect pitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's when we started to say, you know what? Why don't we kind of steer him in the way of arranging music? I remember Ice Cream Man was his first cut. And I remember they were waiting right on that corner when St. Aug came around. It was unheard of for Carver to blow on St. Aug. It was so powerful, it was a wonderful thing. So Eric French, you got to think of the evolution of Eric French. Eric French came, first of all, he's got perfect pitch. He came under rock playing. His brother was a master trumpet player. He went to Carver. He marched in Southern's band. Then he came out. Then he didn't work with me at Landry Walker for what, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years. Then we got him his own middle school band so he could be his own band director to learn how to be a band director. And then now Eric French is back at home with all of the tools on and ready for sheer ass tearing.
Yeah.
He is on. And the fact that you got to realize Eric French is in a situation to whereas the community of Carver, when they got accustomed before Katrina, they got accustomed to having one of the best bands. It's like Johnny was saying, he was patterning it. Them people got accustomed to that. So when they had some people like Herb and them went over there and they wasn't doing a good job, the people were destroyed behind it because they wanted their band back. So pretty much Carver has their prodigal son back. So any and everything that French need, and you got to think about the game plan from this year. I don't know if y'all even see what happened. What was French's repertoire?
The same thing that we was when you was in the band director.
It was the same. But again, all of these songs that the people in my community fell in love with, and you as a band, you too, the ones you fell in love with.
Thank you.
So now when he came back, he passed out that same music, and he brought all of us back to. He connected the Carver band from this year to the Carver band before the storm. He just merged them both in together. Now when you hear that, you think about it, you know.
Boy, everybody give French his credit. I don't know what the hell he talking about. He must be on that moonshine or something.
Who you talking
about? Mikey said this era don't give French his due. That's bullshit.
Oh, we gotta get that dude, man. That dude French is a really. I'm gonna be honest with you. I told French before.
Fucking look back at it on my timeline on Facebook. It's been shared 100 sometimes.
Dude, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm mad at French right now. I'm telling you, I'm mad. I ain't even called him over the pandemic. I'm saying fuck French right now. Because we supposed to be millionaires right now. Imagine this. You ready? I got a database of 10,000 band directors, right? All French gotta do is write 20 songs. Now he gonna provide, they got 10,000 band directors. I'm gonna get John A. I'm gonna sell you 5 Eric French songs, 2 drill tunes, a rap tune, a ballad, and another song. 5 of them for $100, right?
For 10,000?
No. Listen, they got 10,000 band directors out there, black bands. But I'm gonna sell you a 5-song packet for $100, right?
Yeah.
If you get 1,000 band directors out to 10,000 to give you $100 for 5 songs, and you wrote 20, first of all, you can't go to the game with 5 songs, so you need more than 5, right? So for $100, are you gonna really buy 5 or you gonna buy 10? But let's just keep it at 5, right? 1,000 band directors at $100. That's $100,000.
It is.
That's just for football season. Then you come back and you hit them for mine. Man, I believe Eric French should be the chief arranger at one of these fucking colleges.
I agree with that.
You put Eric French at Grambling State University.
Put him at Talladega.
Oh my God! Don't put him over there with
It's over.
Oh, don't listen. Don't put Eric French over there with Miguel stupid ass. Man, bro, if you put Eric French with Miguel, the shop is closed.
It's over.
It's over. I say that all the time. You bring the boy to Talladega. All Talladega missing because they got sound for days. You get them on a radio like French with that perfect pitch to rehearse that band. Oh,
yeah. And not to mention the fact that, see, what perfect pitch means is that, you can hear what tone it is, but you also hear what instrument that is.
The colors.
You hear the instrument. When you hear a song like French say, he don't even hear words. He don't hear no words. Like, look back at it. Look back at it. He don't hear that. He say in his mind, it's an instrument playing that. And I'm like, I don't really get that. But I can't get inside. I told French is crazy up here. I done worked with the dude for about 5 years. I told him he got his own world. Don't try to drag me in that crazy shit because I got Willie World up here. You know, he don't want to come in the Willie World, but I definitely want to go in the French world because French will pass a piece of music out the day of the event and say, "Oh, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it." No, we're not.
French will tell you in a minute, it's gonna be all right, man.
That's what it's gonna be. No, it's not gonna be all right, boy. It's not gonna be all right. The kid's not gonna memorize that.
And what happened, Will?
Wednesday, you playing one part. You come back to practice Thursday. French change the whole song.
Hey, let me get it right quick. Speaking of arrangement, speaking of arrangement, on Tuesday we have a high school arrangement, like
high schoolers, all
high school kids that's watching this that arrange music. We want to showcase your talents. We want to showcase your talents, showcase your school that you come from. We want to showcase that. We're gonna have Brian Simmons come on here to give you tips.
Good.
We trying to reach that. We're trying to bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? Trying to reach that level of things. She said next Thursday. Is next Thursday, Robin?
Not next Thursday,
next Tuesday, right? I thought it was next
Tuesday, I believe.
Next Tuesday.
I thought it was next Tuesday.
This is a special edition because Burger have next Thursday. That's gonna be
next Thursday is my slot.
Hey, Johnny, won't you reach out to Johnny Harris too, bro? Very underrated arranger, bro.
Okay.
Very underrated.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, do you guys have any student arrangers?
Yeah, Mr. Rollins got a good.
Yeah, I got.
Oh wow,
little Dante, man, Dante. But that dude, that's something. This man, really, Dante is. And actually, I didn't have to kind of kind of slow him down. You know, Dante's got a folder, man. He got about 10, 20 songs in it. You know, but the thing about Dante is he kept doing it on like this little, to me, I think an off-brand kind of arranging, you know, tool. And I told him that he has to get hooked up and linked up with the standards of society. You know, you've got to get the finale and the Sibelius and all this, like Garage Band and all this. That's not how we put music together, you know, because again, you have to be able to share it. You know, you have to be able to do things. But Dante, and this dude Dante is a monster, bro. Really, he's not just an awesome arranger. This dude, I took him off mellophone because I lost 8 trumpets last year. They all went off the college. Put him on trumpet. Shit, man, that dude, honestly, I know y'all gonna trip out on this one, though. Dante reminds me of Bear.
That's good.
Dante reminds me of Bear and Luell.
Wow.
Man, bro, Dante, his tone is so pure, bro. Just like Tyrese last year and Charles Wade and all Byron and all these guys, man. This dude came off mellophone and went on trumpet.
Eddie, Raheem coming on the show. Raheem,
hey, bro.
I talked to Raheem earlier.
Let me say this too, because I put it out there for a lot of band registers about the kids, but I hope, like we saying that, but I want these kids to be showcased. I want them to know the school they come from, like, because I know Jamal already know. I talked to Jamal, you know, he was at A for 3 years, so he already know about the thing. But we want to showcase these kids, bro. We might have somebody else also come on with Brian Simmons to give tips. It's about helping these kids get better. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, that's what it's about, man. Make sure you tell Dante about Tuesday.
That little cut Dante wrote for Landry Walker, I ain't gonna lie, that was nice.
Yeah. TTSB, time to say goodbye. Yeah, you remember that was Johnny? You remember how Johnny? You know that.
You know why I don't know it, Will? Because y'all ran. Y'all
no, man. I'm talking about the one. Listen, the one we was playing in a lot at Knicks.
I don't know.
And as soon as when I cut off, I went like this here, and I caught you over there like this.
I don't know it.
Yeah, I caught you over there. Look, I called you lost about 3 seconds of your life. Look at that thing. I had to do Johnny like this.
I don't know it, Will.
I remember that. I remember that, Will. I remember that.
Hey, you know how long? I'm just fucking with you, man. I know this how we have fun.
Hey, man, listen, man. Before we get too deep in the show, I gotta say something, but I want to say this as not. Hey, I see you, Lo. I see you, baby. But listen, I wanna say this as not a representative of this show. I'm not saying this as a Kennedy alumni. I'm saying this as Matt Francis, the man. So I'm about to say some things that might make everybody uncomfortable, but I want to revisit something we talked about. What the fuck is in your heart where you could go into school and steal instruments from them babies?
Yeah, that's fucked.
You gotta be a special ass kind of fucking evil to go in a school and what when you steal those instruments, do you even consider, you bunch of evil fucks, what the kids gonna play on? Huh? Do you even think about that? Man, I don't even know how a person like you can even sleep at night. That level of evil and that level of iniquity and vileness in your heart. Right. You such an evil bastard, right? To be able to do something like that. That had to be revisited. That's been in my spirit since we talked about it.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. First of all, you got a pandemic. Motherfuckers don't have a job, and people need money. If they own crack, they know where to get it. They know where to get this. I know. Listen to what I'm saying. This New Orleans. They know they can go sell at home on the street somewhere. I'm just saying. I'm thinking it's an inside job. I'm just doing devil's advocate.
Right.
First of all,
I only have one word, fellas, and this word gonna be disgruntled.
Yep.
Right.
Disgruntled. That's gotta be, because first of all, what the lady told me is these instruments are ducked off and ducked away, and you got to go through this 3 doors to get to this area to get in this area. So whoever that, they know exactly where those instruments are.
So you know what it's about.
It's just that level of evil, though. Like, how do you even think of something that evil, right? I don't even get that. Like, my brain doesn't work that evil. That's so effed up, man. Like, I don't get that. Like, that's still registering to me. Like, how does an adult victimize children?
Or listen, let's not do that. Don't blame that on an adult. But how about maybe that's children?
Hey,
You think that could have been children to orchestrate? You think a child could have orchestrated that?
Well, I don't believe it.
Man, I'm talking about that's uptown, boy. Them little badass kids, man. Let's not blame it on adults.
Well, they went in there. They went in there full time.
I think it was inside, man.
This a grown.
When I say inside, I don't mean inside adult. I'm talking about inside somebody who knows where those instruments are. Some of those kids, I mean, it could have been a child to do that. I've had kids steal instruments from me before.
They knew exactly what to steal and where to go to steal.
But I'm saying to you, it might be the children.
After the first time, why there's no provision for it? After the first time, why you let it happen the second time?
Hey, bro.
Wait, it happened more than one time? It happened more than one time?
Hey, hold on.
At the same school?
Hey,
yeah.
Man, let me say this right quick, man. It's no how kids will be talking about Abe. It's no different with fucking John Mack did it in 98. They throw all the instruments out the fucking window.
That's because they was disgruntled. That's what I'm saying to you. They were mad. They were upset. When you got rid of Herb back then, and then you gonna talk about bringing somebody new over here, nigga. Herb our band right there. Nigga, if Herb ain't here, we ain't having no band. They tossed everything out the third floor window, broke everything.
Well, when we saw John Mack in 97, 98, honestly, it sounded like they was throwing instruments out the window then too.
Look,
we told the answers up, look, you know it. Hey, look, let me tell you what happened. Wait, I gotta say this. They was on that A-song stuff, and the next year it rained when we were supposed to play the Mac. And Lou was like, boy, I wish we could have seen him. Boy, but when we saw him in 97, 98, it was, oh God. But then
it's funny you say that because Herb taught me a lesson in 95. That was the first week I started working with Kennedy. Walter Harris threw every song away that
Paulin taught.
Paulin, and he figured was nigger tunes. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
All the under pressures, he threw at least 15 songs away. So when I got there, they had probably 12 songs that night or whatever it was. And John Mack just went to running songs. And so I looked at Ruff and I said, this will never happen again. Never, ever, 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 ever happen again.
Look, guess what, Lou? I got the same story about John Mack. Boy, I came out of college in 95. I'm Big Will. Nigga, I'm Big Will. Nigga, I done finally got back. I got Sarah T. Reed. I go to the game. I got 14 songs. Man, when I tell you, boy, them people played about 30 songs in the first half. If you went on the field, listen, this the thing. Say, but man, I don't care what nobody. But Herb and John Mack, 1995, is responsible for making Wilbur Rollins today. Because them dudes, we played them for the first football game where the bands came out. It was 110 fucking degrees out there. I got on shorts and t-shirt, and my kid passing out. Guess what he got on?
Full uniform. His
whole fucking band got on full uniforms and helmets. And they sitting across the field and they in straight lines. They look like them white folk. And I'm telling you, they standing at attention. The people stood up at attention for the whole first half, bro. It was something that it amazed me. And then their time came around, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, we all right, because we were still in there. I know we sound pretty good. I had good teaching. And man, the third quarter after the fucking halftime, guess what happened, Lo? The people took them fucking helmets off and they took them jackets off, and them niggas turned nigga. They turned into thugs. Them niggas went to blowing them, all I need to get by, all these other songs, and then people told, hey, nigga, I had first time ever saying this in public. All right, y'all better get this on tape. I had to go to the security officer named Arthur Gadet. He was a New Orleans, all these Paris security. I said, listen, at 2 minutes before the game is over, no matter what I say, you come tell me we got to get out the stadium because they're threatening to shoot the guns after the game. All right, because I couldn't play in that stadium because I only had one song left. Right, and you can't send to repeat. So look, the dude, Mr. Gaudette, came over there to me. He said, "Listen, Mr. Rollins, man, the band, come on, y'all got to start getting ready to go because we got to leave. You know, they talking about shooting after the game." So I told him to say, "Look at," I said, "Man, we ain't about to go nowhere, man. We ain't finna run from nobody. We here. The band got all excited and shit." And then he's like, "Listen, I'm gonna have to take you to jail if you don't come right now." I said, "Well, take me to jail because we ain't leaving. We ain't going nowhere." what the children said. They said, "No, Mr. Riley, no, don't go to jail. Come on, we can leave. Don't go to jail." I said, "Y'all want to go, we can go, but I ain't scared of nobody. We ain't never gonna run from nobody, you know." And that, man, when I tell you, boy, we marched out that stadium, got on that bus, and when I got back to my house that night, just like Lawrence said, I will never ever be put in that predicament ever again. That's why I work the way I work. That's why my work ethics are different than other people. You got to go to work as a band director. You have to, another thing is you have to, just being on top in the band world, that means absolutely nothing to me. Because when I look down at the bottom of that screen and I see Darrell Moore, man, when I see that dude down there,
they say he was sad. They say he was sad, dude.
Oh, Darrell?
They say he was sad.
I'm gonna tell you this. I watched Darrell pick up that instrument early in his career, and Darrell wasn't the best player. But when Darrell, I'm talking about early. But when Darrell, he had people like Andre Skelton and all them boys come before him, and and he saw that, and he wanted to be better. And I remember Darrell said, I need one of the method books that they got, because they know how to read that music. I said, well, here it is right here. Remember Darrell, 150 exercise for band?
Yes, sir.
And guess what?
And I had an old schoolboy mouthpiece.
A schoolboy mouthpiece. And look, I watched that dude every day. When other people went to lunch and they went to play in the yard and shit, he would come in the band room and he would work at it. And then I remember when Darrell said to me, I want to follow your footsteps. I want to go to Southern. I said, well, Darrell, you got to do a lot of work. You got to learn all them scales. He said, give them to me. And then I gave them to him. And next thing you know, man, I remember when I watched Darrell march out of Southern University's back door. I remember watch that dude walking out that door, man, and I had tears in my eyes because I remember that kid, he had a dream, and he wanted to do that. And as a band director, I think that's the most satisfying thing for me, just like the rest. Every child has that dream. So a band director who does not teach a child how to play an instrument correctly, you got to teach them how to read. And if you don't, then you're destroying their dreams. I'm not going to even mention a band director. I was standing outside the Zulu Club. They had a young man walking up the street. He had a white shirt with a black tie, black pants, and black shoes on. We were standing outside. And the dude walked up, he said, oh, what's up, Mr. Rollins, man, what's up? And they had another guy who was a band director next to me, saying no name. He said, oh, and you're a little fucking ass, man, fuck you. I'm like, hold on, man, why you talking to the man like that? He said, man, I was in that nigga band. That nigga never taught me nothing. I want to go to Southern. All my friends, I know they went to your school. They went to other schools. We all played together. And all of them went to college. I couldn't even pass the audition. Man, fuck that man, man. That nigga ain't taught me nothing. He used me. That nigga had me marching conventions and parades. And I couldn't even go to college, bro. And right now, he said, right now, I work at Cafe Dumont. I'm out there, these niggas say I'm out there slinging beignets, man. My friends marched in the band, they went to Southern, Texas Southern, Jackson State, and I wanted to do that, So when you gotta realize that when you
was at the Zulu Club?
Yeah, well, we were just standing outside, and I ain't the person to give nobody's names. I'm not saying I don't even think you're a member or nothing. We just outside.
What he talking about?
Look at Barry. Look at let's say Barry is.
I marched for him. I know who he's talking about.
You marched for him.
I'm just saying, and I'm not about to try to give nobody names. What I'm saying is, band directors have to realize that they are responsible not just for the children, but you're responsible for the children's children. That's a hell of a thing there. You know what I'm saying? Like if like Darrell child, look at his baby right there. He just put your baby on the screen. His baby is doing well. He's doing well by that child because of the fact he had a chance to go to college. Because he understands hard work and dedication. And his children's children are going to be better because of the work that happened in the band room, So, band room have a great responsibility.
Hey, bro. Hey, look. Bro. This is a good thing. Real stuff. This is a good segment, but I got to let y'all go. Because I got to clip the week. Because I got to get this shit out there. This clip of the week.
Y'all don't leave, please.
Oh, hold on, let me get it out. Robin,
Johnny wrong for this shit here. Johnny wrong for this shit here.
Robin, don't let him do it to me, Robin. Don't let him do it to me.
It ain't too low.
It ain't too low. It ain't too.
It most definitely ain't too low.
Here go the clip of the week. Like, it's Sarah T. Reed. Let's go for the East, you heard me?
Oh, Lord.
You said that last night.
I don't want to be a part of this.
Hold up. I gotta go back. Hold up. I gotta turn my thing on. My bad. Hold up.
That's O2, man.
Bro,
hold up. It's gonna get interesting.
Hold on.
Just go get good, y'all. Just listen.
Just listen.
It's gonna get interesting. This sounds pretty good, man. White boy holding the gills. All right, that was a portion of the clip of the week. This was gonna be my clip of the week, and but people was talking so much stuff to me, so I kind of like had to like bring stuff to reality. Emerson and Cedric Reed had a big time rival, and Brandon Kelly was talking so much stuff to me, and he was going to say he was going to do this, that, and the other. But here goes my real clip of the week. This is the Reed of currently.
Oh man, you wrong for that. Don't do that.
I don't give a damn.
Everybody know what they're going through, bro.
I don't give a damn about none of that shit you talking about.
Hold on, who is this?
Let me speed it up.
This is my school to see.
Oh, they marching. They look so good.
Oh,
Lord, they look so good.
Oh no.
This is the Reed that was all y'all Reed boys that talk stuff to me. This is what's backing you up.
No,
realize who you talking to.
Boy, the bag just walk.
Hey, bro, they started that program probably in November, bro.
I don't want to be a part of this.
They started that November, man.
I don't care.
And a lot of them from Einstein. A lot of them middle school kids.
Let me tell you something. No, I don't care what you talking about.
You wrong for that.
Let me tell you
this.
I don't care. I don't care what.
Go put on Abe when they play Booty Listeners.
I was in that band. I don't care. I was in that. I was at Southern. I don't care. What I'm saying is, I was shitting yesterday. I was trying to learn the piano with Abdul. I was doing the drums. Brandon Kelly came on here, made a live about Abe, went off on Abe. My clip of the week was actually the Circle of One. I love that song. It was gonna be called. I love Circle of One. That's one of my favorite songs.
You know who the first people to play Circle of One, right?
George Washington Carver.
George Washington Carver.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, 2000.
But say, Abe and Reed is a real rivalry. So since Brandon Kelly was talking all that stuff, you got to see me. This is what all y'all boys that from Reed that was talking that stuff. This is what you got backing you up. I'm going to slaughter you every time I see you. Just know that.
Hold on, who's the band director at Reed?
I don't care if it was Jesus. I'm going to slaughter him every time I see them. The Abe Reed rivalry is real.
You just be taking advantage of a situation. You know, you constantly listen. Got it. Listen, if you lay down with dogs, you're gonna get fleas.
Hold up, Lord.
So
Hold up, Will. We could talk politically correct over the phone.
I'm trying to give you a little bit of advice because you set yourself up in the upper 5 bands now. So you can't never go back down there. You can't go back down there.
Say, bro, let me say this. I hate when people be talking like that because when Ed was billing, I played a 2-note song. Niggas was ridiculing me. Like I remember that, dog.
Cause you were talking so much shit, Johnny.
Huh?
You were talking so much shit.
I don't care what nobody say. Abe and Reed, Robert, dog. Them dude for Reed, like Abe was getting their ass bust by Reed before for Will. You was busting Abe ass. Come on, no. The tables has turned, and I'm gonna take advantage of any opportunity.
Let me just give you this. You ready? I'm gonna leave you along with this one. Ready?
No, we gonna talk on the phone.
Listen, as a child, I played with toys. As I became a man, I put away those childish toys and I dwelled in managed activity. Right now, you on a whole nother level. You shouldn't be playing around with bands like that.
That's true. That's true. Let me tell you something.
On the magic walkers and cars and all these bands that are 35s and 60s and
See, let me tell y'all. I understand what you're saying, Will. the Abe and Reed rivalry is true. And when Abe played Reed in fall 2001, the people don't want to hear what you got to say, Will. It's about the A alumni versus Reed alumni. That's
Yeah, but you're talking about 2001. We in 2020 now.
2021. When that game happened, that's what it's gonna be. I don't care what
Y'all,
nobody say.
hold on, y'all have a football
Johnny,
game?
uncheck your audio box.
Oh, let me do that. Hold on. Let me do that.
Yeah, so y'all have a football game, Johnny?
That's what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, you punish his ass in the football game. I mean, only thing is this. I'm gonna say this to you: if you show up, then I got to do what I got to do because the game. You know, I provide an environment at the football game where it's all about me and my team. You know, so I thought you were talking about when you see him at parade season or you see him on the streets or whatever. But if they come to the football game, then
football game. No, it's football game, and Abe and Reed. See, y'all, it's just like dog. Abe and Reed rivalry is the battle of the East. So like,
I know that.
If you don't understand, like a lot of people, if you don't understand that rivalry, you like it's bigger than what you.
Baton must not be on here no more.
And we always dreamed of having this game at Joe Brown Park, and this game gonna be at Joe Brown Park. This shit gonna be big, but guarantee you that it's gonna be bad. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Joe Brown Park don't hold with what 5,000 people.
Oh well, that day is gonna be good. Lo, I love you, bro. Will, I love you, bro.
Same here, buddy. Keep up the good work.
Oh, you was a petty little boy. You petty.
Hey, bro, let me say, I told Matt this
petty.
High school was boring until I got to high school. Just know that. Until I got to high school, it was boring.
Wait, high school band? You said high school band?
High school was boring until I got to high school.
So Will and Loden had it boring?
Hold on. Now you sound like Tennille.
Tennille won't be like me.
Boy, y'all dudes are serious, bro. That's crazy.
Hey, bro, we really appreciate y'all coming on. Hey, bro, we gonna have y'all just like Aran and Javon.
No. Before they go, I need to ask them a question from the show today. I don't know if they checked their notes, but both of y'all, I want y'all to give me y'all favorite band from this era and the last era, the past era.
I'm going
pre-Katrina and post-Katrina.
Yeah, give me y'all favorite bands. It don't matter who the bands are.
What's the time span? How many years span?
Anything from pre-Katrina, anything from post-Katrina.
It don't matter.
I gotta split that. I got it because again, I gotta say this. I gotta say Carver and Reed at the same time pre-Katrina. Remember that Orpheum Theater? You remember the Orpheum Theater battle?
I was on your staff there.
You ain't never gonna get that ever again. Both of them bands played 32 songs. You ain't never gonna get it again. That Miguel pushed me to be the best I could be, and I pushed Miguel to be the best he could be. You know, so I'm gonna say Carver Reed that's the same year. You know, and then after Katrina, one of my favorite bands was I like the Old Perry Walker band when we went to Atlanta that first year after I came there. Like I think it was like about 07, 08. When we went there. Yeah, when we went to Atlanta, man, and something happened in the stands, and when we went to Atlanta, I don't know if it's because people were feeling not sorry, but you know they were feeling our pain because of Katrina. But the band went out there, and it's the first time we brought a New Orleans band out there since before Katrina. And man, when I tell you we sound so good that day, man, the people gave the band a standing ovation from the time we got off the field and walked all the way around to the side where all the bands were. They were still standing on their feet clapping. And then we walked into the stadium where the bands were, they were still clapping. You got to go back and get that video, man. That changed a whole lot of people's lives, you know, myself included. I remember Henry Pittman played bass drum. As he was walking up the stands, he started crying. And he I was like, what's going on, Henry? He was like, I don't know what this feeling is. You know, he was like, something was on him. I said, man, that's you feeling proud about yourself. That's called self-gratification. You know, and I got a chance to watch a whole group of kids that have self-gratification. So that's one of my favorite bands after the storm. I've had some good ones, but that one there was awesome, you know.
What about yourself, Lo?
I have to answer this.
Yes, before and after, Lo. Yes, you do, sir.
It's hard before because I want to mention early Kennedy bands because there was no overblowing. The way Mr. Harris lined his band up, you had trombones and baritones and everything in the front and back. It would have been crazy to have all that stuff in the front too. But my ears were different because I was a student. So I'm gonna say I hate to say the '98 Kennedy band because I don't think it compared to the '80s band that Kennedy had. But '98,
gotta say that, Lo.
Listen, '98 was the only year that St. Aug ever admit defeat. Straight up.
What?
Yeah. Them boys they said them boys didn't get jackets that year. I don't know what happened. Some people was crying because the situation we did with them at the game. Just ask them. They'll tell you. Ain't no disrespect. But
they know what's up. That was my senior year. Speak on it, Lo.
And I'm not saying it because Matt did, because Walter Harris gave me the baton, say, you can't be Walter Harris, you have to be you. And I turned the volume up, changed, darken the colors a little bit, this different stuff. So after Katrina, I'm going to be biased again. And I'm saying this because we taught these kids from the ground up, and that's the 2012, 2013 edition of Roots of Music. And I know y'all probably like, oh, yeah, but that was the band that went to the Rose Parade. That was the band that flooded all the high school bands with leaders. And it was a beautiful thing, and I really didn't, I listen to other bands, but I don't worry about other bands. I really don't listen too much because I have to worry about home first. So one more thing. I'm sorry. You see that 05 band that Carver was going to have before the storm hit? It was fucking.
Oh my God. It was going to be crazy.
It was
finally got to be a part of greatness, bro.
And look, Flight of the Bumblebee, it was a whole lot of stuff.
Flight of the Bumblebee, and I got my ass beat. I thought shit was sweet at Carver.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of me and Rashad came to practice late.
Yeah.
Man, Mr. Rollins beat our ass, man.
Yeah, you come late. They be late.
There's a lot of bands, though, but it's kind of hard to compare. It's hard to say one or two, bro. It is, because every band is different. But watching those kids at Rouge grow like they did, we'll know what I'm talking about. Grow like that and play collegiate arrangements. From 9 to 14-year-olds was special. Of course.
Hey, Lo, can you send me some footage on that? I want to feature that on my the next time I get to play the clip of the week. Can you send me some footage on that?
Yeah.
On that Roots band?
Yeah, I can find
please. I want to feature him.
It was nice. It was different, bro. It was something that the city needed at the time. It was great to be a part of it, bro. It really was, and it's about to blow up again. So all the middle school band directors be aware, because Darren Rogers is not playing with you. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I thought he was gonna be the band director at St. Aug. I thought that was
did too.
Well,
what they did, it was
I thought Darren was gonna be the band director at St. Aug, bro.
It was messed up, but I don't see how it wasn't Darren. But I guess I don't do how
we missed out on that. Liza say we missed out on the Battle of the Night Ward. Yeah. Liza, man, that dude Liza, he always had the heart of a lion, bro. But another thing, I'll be remiss but not to mention again, Sarah T. Reed, 1997.
That was a good band.
Bro, 97, 98 they had everything. They had 10 tubas. They got 12 baritones. I'm talking about the first one. That's the first year we got the marching baritone. Yep. They got 12 mellophones, about 30 trumpets. Man, we had about 12 clarinets, about 5-6 alto, 5-6 flute, trombones. Eddie Vanderson had just got a brand new fucking set of drums. I'm talking about all chrome. Oh man.
Yeah, but our drum section did a clinic with y'all drum section though, and that wasn't pretty.
They had some, y'all had Ruffin over there. I gotta get, just like we talked about Eric French. I think Sean Ruffin was brought into this world to teach drums.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I tell people all the time, my work ethic as a musician comes from Sean Ruffin. Anytime anybody hear me play a chop, I probably played that chop 500 times, literally, before you heard me play.
You remember the Hammers?
Man, listen, we can't say crab no more because I think that's illegal. But when I was a first year band student at Kennedy, I never forget. Man, this blew my mind. I never forget Sean Ruffin made us march and play street beat for like 4 hours. And listen, it wasn't because we ain't had it. It's street beat. It was simple. it's because we weren't given the rest in between the notes, the proper amount of the proper respect. Man, he said, listen, Sean Ruffin was the first person I ever said, you know what, Matt? You know the rest that's in between the notes is just as important as the notes. And he made us drill it. Man, it got to the point where we could stand in the practice rooms at Kennedy and play our cadences and not be, they could count them off. And we could play them the same way because the way he drilled them. So man, man, Sean was that dude, man. My work ethic come from them.
Guess what? Very vital to my career. The best bands I've been a part of, except for LLI, of course, the Kennedy, Roots of Music. I had Sean Ruffin on my side, man. And I'm not saying my side is no sidekick. Hell no, he was just, man, Ruffin used to take the tuba players and go over the parts with the tuba section because he knew how to read. He knew all that.
Rough that dude, man.
Yes.
He knew all that.
Wait, can we be nostalgic one more time since we talk about 97? Hey, y'all remember that time when we played Reed? When we played Reed and that other band came and they were supposed to just be doing the field show? See the Grove. And look, check this out, Johnny. They got up and played a song that they wasn't supposed to. Reed blew in their ass, and we both turned to blue in their asses. Bomb this band.
That was a Rollins versus Rollins moment. I'm like, what?
It was, and they jumped their asses in there and got towed up, Johnny. I'm gonna send you the footage, Johnny. I'm gonna send you the footage.
Who won it? Who won that moment?
Which one?
Rollins versus Rollins moment.
They allowed both of us to win that.
Okay.
That other band allowed us to, Rollins to win that battle.
How did See the Grove sound? How did they sound?
They sound good, man.
Yeah, they sound great.
New Orleans.
Listen,
from New Orleans.
The meat rack off the chain. And guess what? And after the game, because they came down to do a Saints game, right? After the football game was over, after the fifth quarter, they went in on the field and did a field show.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we punished them people. We jumped them. We jumped them.
Oh, no. Will, you got to go back and look. You got to go back and look at that footage. Yeah. Hey, man, listen. I don't think they was used to the kind of pressure y'all put on them that day.
No, they wasn't used to that. But I'm just saying, that was a very good band. See, they had a very good band. And then
that was amazing. Yeah, they were great.
But they don't play it's like trying to judge the old Southern with the old Florida A&M, because they patterned after Florida A&M. They band was from Florida A&M, so they don't play with the kind of aggression that we play with.
Yeah, you crazy, Cognac, you crazy. So they could towel shit down like they about to do Robert E. Lee.
I know I'll tear that bitch down. I ain't gonna lie. I'll tell you, Lou. I wouldn't tell.
Oh, no, man, don't tear our statue down, man. I don't want no statue down.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Look, man, we appreciate y'all because we got to get out of here. We appreciate y'all coming on here, man. Will and Lo, goats, man. Lo be thinking I be playing when I be saying you're the goat. I don't know why he always say that shit. I really
you don't respect y'all. The man no goat. That's why.
Man, I really respect the dude.
I studied under the goats. That's why I studied. I studied under Walter Harris and even Lloyd Harris, and those are nobody give Herman Jones a lot of credit. And the most underrated teacher in New Orleans public school history.
Okay, that's teachers I ever got.
What you say? He can teach a who? He can teach who?
Herman Jones could teach a dog how to play a horn, bro.
He can.
Mr. Herman Jones is responsible, bro. I'm talking about some of the baddest musicians you ever want to see, bro. I'm talking about Kermit Ruffin, Jap, all these guys, man. You got
wow.
And Lawless.
And Lawless, man. Mr. Jones, man, that dude, man. Summer band camp, man, Mr. Jones, summer band camp. You ain't come to summer band with no buku people. You had a time. I remember the tuba section we came from 9 to 12. And I'm talking about every day we worked in the Ed Swader met the book number 1.
Yep.
Ed Swader met the book number 2. Ed Swader got the number 3. He was playing the Flight of the Bumblebee in number 3. This man had the patience of Job, bro. And he could play the instrument himself. So he showed you. It's like we do right now in the system. It's I do, we do, and then you do. He would show me what he would let me hear what a good tuba sounds like. And then we would do it together so I could hear what the difference is. And then I would play it on my own so I can try to mimic what I'm supposed to sound like. After a little while, man, Mr. Jones ain't had to pick up a tuba for about my last 2 years in middle school. And Mr. Herman Jones, I give a shout out to Mr. Herman Jones. That dude is the most awesome band director most people might not want to hear that I've ever had. When I got to Kennedy, Walter Harris had to turn me into from a little snotty-nosed, ignorant-ass little boy. But Herman Jones made me a musician. Walter Harris made me pull my pants up, put socks on, put a belt on your ass. You come in here, you put a shirt on, you say yes, sir, no, sir. You open the door.
Yes, sir.
You don't go eat first before the girls. Mr. Walter Harris and helped to instill, which my parents was doing it before. But then when I got to Southern, Isaac Griggs taught me strictly about showmanship.
Yep.
Strictly about showmanship. Goddamn, you cannot.
What do you mean? What do you mean showmanship?
Showmanship. I'm talking about the fact that you must not be as good as. You have to be better than. Showmanship. Okay. When you come out the gate, the way you look, the way you act, the way you present.
When he said you have to be as better than, was he talking about other Southern band members or the other band? Who was he referring to?
Bands. Yeah. The other bands. We playing Jackson State, goddamn, you don't have the liberty as a Southern band. Like now, a lot of people are saying Southern band and this band is this because Southern is not the Southern of old. I believe Southern got the same situation we got as band directors. Ain't no hazing no more. But when I went to Southern, the first day I walked in, that nigga slapped the shit out of me. I'm like, I don't even know you, dude. I mean, first of all, I'm Big Will from the Night Wall. You gonna put your hands on me. I walked in that thing. I said, nigga, better not put their hands on. Pow! And the now they got 20 people around me like, nigga, you gonna do what we tell you to do, or you gonna get the fuck.
Hey, before y'all close, since both of y'all Southern grads,
I'm not.
How do y'all feel about y'all went to Southern? How do y'all feel about the Paul Adams comment?
About what? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
He said that he feel like, I think that's his name.
It's Paul
Adams.
All right.
He feel like Southern abuses his style of music today, and he's challenging Southern to go back to the old style of music. I don't know what that meant, but he basically was
just a less aggressive style. He didn't particularly care.
Let me comment on this, Burger.
For arrangements and different stuff, and I was surprised that he got away with it. Why can't?
I believe Paul Adams need to do what Paul Adams doing because band has evolved. Band has evolved, and if Southern goes back to the old way of doing band, where mellophones don't play above an A and all that, they don't get their ass knocked off because everybody else has evolved. Baritones are playing C's and D's and E's. I understand that it's not the way things have happened, but I tell you this: back when I was coming up, I ain't never seen a woman's bra in underwear till I was 14, 15 years old looking in the JCPenney catalog. You feel what I'm saying? They got children who coming up 5, 6 years old on the internet. They're watching flicks. You can watch a flick as soon as you get a phone. What I'm saying, life has evolved. Things have evolved.
He lying. My dad had a catalog of flicks. He lying. My dad had a catalog.
Your daddy was a musician. Yes.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. We appreciate y'all. We got a guy. We've been on here for a long time. We appreciate y'all coming on. Burger, talk about next week, man. Talk about next week, right quick.
Well, next week's show, I'm bridging the gap next week, and basically we're gonna talk about how we can use the old school way of teaching and incorporate it in with this new school, because some kind of way we gotta bridge this gap. And I feel like on this show, we can do it, but I also have another question of what makes a great bandsman? What builds a great bandsman? And I want.
Well, we can answer that. Hey, no, just Burger. We got to answer that one next week, brother.
No. I'm not asking him that. I'm saying that's the question for next week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we also have to figure out a way to make dudes our age, well, my age, feel more welcomed around them, man. I mean, a lot of us would like to donate. A lot of us would like to come back and instruct. I have a world of experience.
Man,
so what's up?
We're gonna talk about that next week.
Most def, but we need. That's what I'm saying, man. We need to figure out a way to bridge that gap.
Hey, also look Tuesday. We're gonna have the high school arrangement showcase. But look, tenor drummers, it's gonna be wrong. We got
leave the lean, the weed, and the pills off the live when we
and the coke and the coke.
Yes, you will be cut.
where you at.